Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi, welcome to episode 11 of the Next Dimension podcast, your new podcast, which is all about virtual reality and, in the future, also augmented reality. And today, this is going to be a very special episode because we're going to celebrate the PlayStation VR 2. So do get your adult beverages ready because this is going to be a heck of a show. Today with me, Tetiana again. Hello, Tetiana from Disco VR. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Sebastian. Thanks for having me. Very, very excited about talking today.
Oh my goodness.
About all these good things.
This is going to be so nice. Great. Also with us here today, Anthony. Anthony from VR 365. Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Having a bad hair day, but dealing with it and just rolling with it.
I like it, but your hair is pretty okay, man. Just like always.
Yeah. I was just looking at it. I'm like, oh no, bad hair day.
No, it's okay. It's okay. And also here with me, Steve. Steve, the VR flight sim guy. We do have quite some opposing views on a certain accessory.
Yes, we'll get into that one, I think.
Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. And every day is a bad hair day for me, so I'm not too worried.
But it is a bit shorter, your hair, right?
I think it's longer than last week, or it should be, unless it's going backwards. I don't know.
Okay,
I hope not.
Well, it looks pretty good. Right. And also with me, Sebastian Ang. I am founder of MRTV and the host of this podcast. So, for all of you who don't know this podcast yet, this podcast is all about virtual reality. And, well, we are live every Saturday at 9 p.m. Berlin time, 8 p.m. in London time, San Francisco at noon, and New York City at 3 p.m. And we are also on all the podcast providers like iTunes, Spotify, Alexa, Google Podcasts. So, why don't you, if you love this podcast, give us a good review, give us a 5-star review. So get this iPhone or iPad out right now, open the podcast app, find us, find the Next Dimension podcast, and do write us a review. It would really help us. And we are grateful forever if you would do that. So go ahead and do that if you haven't done so already. Today, it's going to be a heck of a show because we have lots of exciting topics to talk about. We're going to discuss the PSVR 2 confirmation. Sony has confirmed it's going to happen. There is going to be a PlayStation VR 2 and what this means for the industry, what we're expecting. We're going to talk about it, of course. Then another big topic is going to be the Quest Pro. It might happen. Facebook themselves, they have kind of like started the rumor, right? So, wow, what might this be? We're going to talk about it. Does it make sense? Yes or no? And are we excited about it or no? We're also going to talk about virtual desktop that is now in the Quest store with the full functionality of being able to wirelessly stream PSVR content. So, lots of good stuff.
Amazing.
And also some other interesting topics. Since this is the Next Dimension podcast, we also want you to join the discussion, right? And therefore, there is a poll down in the description of this video. So for all of you people who are watching this live right now, please check out the link down in the description below. We're asking you 2 questions. Question number 1, do you believe that there's going to be a Quest 2 Pro instead of a Quest 3? Do let us know. And the other question is going to be, are you going to buy the PSVR 2? Yes or no? Or, well, you first have to wait for the specs. So go there now and do voice your opinion. We're going to look at the results at the end of this show. All right, but before we go into all the content, we first want to find out what we did in this week. And I want to ask Tetiana, who haven't been on the show for a few weeks because it was a bit cold in Texas. Yeah. So how are you doing right now? How did you get over all this cold weather? Did you fly to Cancun, Mexico? What did you do?
No, just observing what was going on. I've been surviving this crazy Texas snowvid, as they call it, because it's just on top of everything that's happening.
Snowvid is good.
We're also, locked in our homes. And as soon as we were getting like, okay, we're at home, we're used to this now. Now you don't have power and heating and internet. So even staying at home.
You didn't have power and heat?
Well, yes. We
What?
have, heating system run by electricity just to run the gas heating. So we didn't had it for, some people had it they had it for 1 hour, then it would turn off for another hour. We didn't have it at all for 3 days. I could see my own breath in the house. It was terrible. But anyway, it's not about that. I survived. We all survived. Everything's good now, but it created a lot of work for me. So that's one of the reasons I haven't been able to be on this show. I really miss being here, but I had just so much to catch up on.
We understand.
Work related. And without internet, I couldn't even, I had an idea. I know I was cold, so I thought I would work out in VR. I was always getting, hot when you're in VR, you're moving. I couldn't even do that because there's no internet. I couldn't charge it. But now that I have been catching up with all the work and all the studies, I use this time to play some quite, relaxing games in VR. I got into puzzles. I played a lot of puzzle games. I finally played The Room VR. I played the Fisherman's Tales, which I have been planning to play for a very long time. And
great game.
It's really short, but it's such an amazing, beautiful storyline there. I finished it in 2 hours, and I was really sad that it was over.
And
it's
perfect
so
idea,
beautiful.
right? The idea behind the whole thing is so well done. It's beautiful.
Amazing. It's a masterpiece.
Agreed.
It's something in between the game and those immersive experiences that are not interactive but immersive. This is both very interactive and immersive in this storyline. It was perfect. And I also was playing Puzzling Places, which is on App Labs now. But at first time I played it was on SideQuest. And Puzzling Places is basically like a 3D jigsaw puzzle game. And when I played it for the first time, it only had this one castle, which was great. But now that it's on App Labs, I think they added 10 different creations there. So I was really impressed that it's a free game. Yeah, so that it's been, I was trying to relax. I wasn't shooting anything this week in VR, but I did buy
this weekend.
no Gorn this week. Although maybe it would help with my nerves, to smash something once. I'll keep that in mind. But another thing I did, I finally bought my curiosity topped, and I bought PlayStation VR.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Which is very ironic because this is something about me buying stuff. I bought Quest 1 a month before Quest 2 came out, and I bought PlayStation VR 2 days before PlayStation VR 2 got confirmed. We'll talk about that more. But
I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah,
really,
if you want to see if the new technology is going to come out soon, just check out my channel. If I bought something recently, then something's coming out in about a few
Tetiana, could I ask you to buy the Valve Index? Because I really want a Valve Index too. Yeah, that would be amazing, please.
Yeah, well, we'll see. If someone sponsors,
I wanted to buy the Samsung Odyssey Plus.
Oh yeah,
Samsung Odyssey Plus.
Okay,
can you buy the Reverb G2 as well? Just 3 headsets. If possible.
Just get them all, Tetiana, please. We need new hardware. I need new hardware to review on the channel here.
Yeah, I'll have to test this theory if I need to buy it or if someone can buy it for me. If it's the same effect.
All right, exactly.
Yeah, but
Did you get a great deal though on your PlayStation VR? Did you get it real cheap?
Pretty good. It was pretty good because I think we got it on eBay, and it had the game, it had the console, it had the controllers, and it had like delivery, and I think Astrobot all together.
Perfect.
I got it for $200. It was, I think it was
Yes,
pretty good.
that is great.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's great because like I didn't have to pay shipping, and now I can play the games that I have. So my initial idea, I really wanted to play Hitman because of how you guys talked it up so much. I
It's
haven't
great.
worked through it yet, but I did have No Man's Sky to try, and I did. And I wouldn't say it blew my mind because I'm downgrading from Quest 2 to PlayStation VR is something like, you're spoiled with the better technology already.
Oh,
It's like when you have your modern smartphone and then you go back to like, you have your old smartphone too, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that this thing doesn't do
Right.
this and that. I was so like surprised that
Do you have the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro?
it just
Okay.
forced.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is even a downgrade in terms of graphics. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's quite a downgrade. But once you overcome this initial, like it's not as good. Once you overcome that, you can actually enjoy it playing some exclusive games like Hitman, and my brother actually also got one, and he's playing again Resident Evil 7.
I can't
So
play
there's-
that game.
either. But I'm sure that there's so much potential in that. So we will talk about it.
Have
I
you
just
tried
wanted-
Astrobot?
I did.
It's great, right?
It's great too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I don't regret it. I satisfy my
Perfect.
curiosity, and I will be playing it occasionally with the PlayStation exclusive games.
Right, and try Rush of Blood as well. Exactly, and also
Wipeout.
Blood and
Wipeout.
Truth, Wipeout. Exactly. Thank you, Paradise Decay. Lots of amazing games that you need to try, and that are actually exclusive to the PSVR platform, right? So,
That's
yes.
right. Paper Beast, I think, is also
Oh,
exclusive.
no, it's also on SteamVR, but Paper Beast is really
Oh,
good.
okay.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. So this is exciting for me.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm pleased you got heating and power. That's the main
Yeah,
thing. I
that's the
think.
main
I'm-
thing.
Oh yes, I have short sleeves now. It's so nice.
Cool. That's your week.
Yes.
Okay.
That was more than enough.
Yeah, I think so. So, who do you nominate now?
Let's hear from Steve.
Oh. Yeah, well, I'll keep it short because obviously we've got a lot of stuff to get through. But I just want to say, first of all, my Quest was really annoying me this week. It actually kept crashing. And I was really disappointed, really, because I'd wanted to try out quite a few different games and it just was not behaving itself. I bet a lot of people in the comments have had this problem and it was new to me. And I think you probably know what I'm going to say. I don't know. But basically, every time I switched it on, the home wouldn't start. And then it kept saying Explorer stopped working. Has anyone ever had that before with their Quest?
No, I didn't have that problem.
Maybe, yeah. Well,
Oh,
I did with mine. It
interesting.
was. Have you had it, Tetiana? Or...
I didn't have that particular problem, but I did have problems with Quest to the point that I even opened its ticket to
Right.
figure out what it was. But I was messing up with the quality settings. When you connect it to SideQuest, you can change the
Well, yeah.
resolution. And
Yeah.
that messed up the image badly. I had to restart it, reload it. I almost got to the point where I had to do a factory reset, but it looks fine. But don't do that. I've read many comments, people who mess up with the resolution settings, it messes up their screen.
Basically, with this, so it's just someone said in the comments, no, it's just me. Well, you know what? I am good at breaking hardware and software. But anyway, I found the cure for it thanks to the amazing community out there and a lot of help. It's actually SideQuest, right? SideQuest has to exist. It has to stay. It's so important because obviously for many reasons, but also because you can get inside the Quest 2 kind of, I guess the software. And all it was basically loading SideQuest up, and there's the app called Explorer. Okay, so if anyone's had this issue, you basically clear the cache. That's it, clear the cache. Restart your Quest 2 and it's working fine now. So I didn't have to reset anything. I just went to SideQuest. So thank you, SideQuest, for saving all my games and all my progress and everything. That would have been really, really crap. So really happy about that. What else? Basically, I did beta testing. I can say now what they are. Basically, I've been flying 2 different aircraft the Fly9 Spitfire. Everyone loves a Spitfire. I've got one behind me because I love it that much. Not a real one, hopefully, but no. Amazing aircraft. I'm going to have that on the channel very soon. It's incredible in VR. It just feels so good flying over the white cliffs of Dover or anywhere in Microsoft Flight Simulator. That'll be out very soon. They've worked so hard to get the sounds right. That Merlin engine sounds beautiful. There's another aircraft called the Just Flight Piper Arrow, which is a beautiful general aviation aircraft. I've actually flown in real life many times, so I've had a good idea of how realistic it is, and the flight modeling is brilliant. And also checking out VR covers. I'm laughing already as soon as I've said it, because me and Seb has both got our opinions on that one, which is really, really interesting. Shall I park that one for a moment? But I've been checking out the VR covers. They basically now released their own facial interfaces for the Reverb G2. One of them's a thinner version, and then you've got the sort of more padded one. So I've been checking that out against the stock Reverb G2 interface. And for me, personally, I found that the field of view, I don't want to say it, it's better for me. It really is. And actually, Melissa tried it out as well. I said, right, I'm not going to tell you which one I'm going to put on the Reverb, and I want you to see which one can you see more field of view. And she did actually say the VR covers, which I was actually really relieved, because I thought, is it just me imagining it? But I guess it's to do with your face shape and your IPD. There's a lot. VR is such a personal thing. I think Anthony alluded to this a few shows ago, and you're so right. We've got so many people with different head shapes and eyes and everything. It's hard for these manufacturers to get everything right. But for me personally, that was a huge. Just a huge, difference. The field of view for me was about at least 10% more each side. Honestly, you're keeping quiet, Seb. I thought you'd have said something by now. I'm very impressed.
No. I come to my week, then we're going to talk this out. Yeah.
I'm going to be in trouble then, aren't I? But yeah, basically that's all I've done a lot of stuff today. This week, beta testing mainly, and I'm very excited to show some new aircraft on the channel very soon. And my Quest 2 is now working again. So, yeah, it's all good.
All right, cool. Steve, who do you nominate? Is it Anthony or is it me?
I'm going to nominate you, Seb, actually, this time, because I think it'd be quite cool to hear what your week's been like.
All right, okay, all right. So my week has been the typical MRTV week. I did MRTV stuff, as in reviewing some accessories, some hardware things. So, first of all, I must say, I absolutely took one for the team, because I bought this year. This is the VR Brother Elite strap for the HP Reverb G2. But honestly, this is not made for the HP Reverb G2. This is actually a Quest 2 accessory.
iGlow.
And exactly the iGlow one, just in black, but it's exactly the same. And I ordered it from Amazon.com in the US, and I'm in Germany, right? So I had to pay like $30 shipping fee, and on top of the $45 asking price. So it was like more than $70. It arrived here, and then I tried to put it into my Reverb G2, and it didn't fit. This is not made for the G2. So I forced it in, and I just heard like a crackling sound, and I destroyed my G2.
You should have seen my face when I was watching that video, Seb.
It's such a pain in the butt. In the butt.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and they tried to build in the headphones there too to make it more like elite.
Yeah, no, this is terrible. And then, I checked on AliExpress, this Chinese website where you can get those things. And now I found exactly this here for $6. So do not buy the $45 VR Brothers Elite strap for the G2. This is a scam. This is a terrible scam. And now, still, if you're looking on the Amazon.com website to find this, it's still there. And the reviews are quite high. Right, like 4 stars, and I tried to write my review, but I couldn't because I seldom buy on Amazon.com, and my account is not allowed to do that. So, guys and girls out there, do not buy this. This is a scam. I took one for the team, and it's going to be super hard for me to put back in the original strap. Yeah.
Oh, Seb, honestly, when I watched that video, I was like, I couldn't watch it. It was like a horror movie or something. I was like, don't destroy your Reverb G2.
Yeah,
The
right,
first
right.
casualty on MRTV.
Exactly. Yeah, not the first. I had some other headsets that I destroyed myself with my Killer Sweat, MRTV Killer Sweat. Yeah, these things happen on the channel. That's okay. I have so many VR headsets. I'm fine. I will still be in VR. Yeah. Then I also checked out the VR cover head strap for the Quest 2. You saw it probably today in my video. It's a really cool accessory. Costs $24, is way better than the original soft strap, and actually I even would probably be preferred over the Elite strap because it is so light and it gives you so much, it's so stable. This is really a good strap. So I was very surprised how good this strap is for $24. Absolutely big recommendation. If you have not seen my video, absolutely do that. It's a very good video.
That's really
I made
cheap.
it. Yeah, $24 is really okay. And the VR
That's
cover,
awesome.
the VR cover stuff, it is good, right? We know that. And now, finally, the discussion
gonna go now.
with Steve. So I also reviewed this year. This is the HP Reverb G2 facial interface and foam replacement kit.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing already.
From VR cover. So I reviewed that on my channel, and then actually, like nearly at the same time, like Steve's review also went live. I think Steve's review went live a bit earlier. So yeah, so I didn't think about anything. Just like, okay, cool, we both reviewed it, and that's it. But then later that day, I watched Steve's video, and I was like bursting out laughing. I was going crazy. I haven't laughed so hard in a long time. Really, it was so funny because we basically exactly say the exact opposite thing about this thing, about this. So in my video, I keep on stressing like, yeah, it is great for the hygiene, but it totally doesn't change your FOV, your field of view at all. And in Steve's video, wow, I got an amazing FOV. That's at least 15 degrees more. I love it. And it's like, oh, wow, it's just like, I was laughing so hard at this.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's so funny.
It was so funny. Wow, this is such a big difference, right, Steve?
I know. I just thought, because I thought, well, because I basically, after I'd finished loading mine, I actually joined you live, didn't I?
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh my God, what the hell? This is completely different. I thought, what could it be that makes this so different? Now, I do know that I use my Reverb G2 a lot. I mean, seriously, like almost every day. With the stock pad, and I know you've got the Frankenfoff.
Frankenfoff.
No,
yeah.
I haven't tried that.
You should.
I haven't tried any. This is my first ever dip into the sort of modification, of any headset. This is the first VR cover I've ever had, and I'm so used to the gasket on the original. I just, as soon as I put that one on, it was it for me, because I got the thicker one with that's the same. But
Right.
there's a thinner version.
Yeah, I have it here on, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you got on your. And I was like, this is definitely, I can see better.
Yeah, no.
I can see, yeah.
I totally get it. And the thing is, it absolutely depends on what you're used to. So
Yeah.
for me, for my G2, when I did my first preview, right, I was telling the world like, wow, you know what? The G2 has a really great sweet spot. And I still stand to that. The G2 has a good sweet spot. But then when people received the G2, like suddenly, like all over the interwebs, it was like, what? The G2, the sweet spot sucks. It's terrible. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? The sweet spot is super nice. And well, for me, I was just not using the Rift and the Oculus headsets all the time, right? But this has a better sweet spot. So if you go from the better sweet spot to a sweet spot that is not so great, well, you will see it directly, right? But if you come from a headset that doesn't have a great sweet spot, like the Odyssey Plus or the Valve Index, then go to the G2, then it's going to be amazing. So I think that is just what happened here. Like I'm using the G2 with the Frankenfoff mod. It's like a fantastic, it's a very nice FOV. And then I tried this, and yeah, I simply hoped that it would be equally good as the Frankenfoff mod. But it was not, right? So I also saw that it's a bit bigger, the FOV of this here. the VR cover, but it's nowhere near the Frankenforth. So, Steve, I totally get it. I totally get it.
The mystery has been solved.
The mystery has been solved, yeah. But you should totally check out the Frankenforth mod. You get a way better FOV.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try that actually. Yeah,
It's good. It's good. But so interesting, so funny. I mean,
It
I was laughing so hard when I watched your video. No, everyone out there must watch my video first and then watch his video. It's so funny, incredibly. Yeah. Other than that, in terms of games that I played Crashland on the Quest, which is like a wave shooter, a pretty good wave shooter, I would say. And yeah, that's it. Also, I wanted to play Hyperdash today, but I didn't have time, so probably somebody else played Hyperdash. Not sure. Yeah, anyways, that is my week. And now we're going to talk about Anthony's week.
Yeah, so this week on my channel came back to life for the first time in a couple of weeks. I haven't done a lot of videos recently, and we're obviously later on this episode, we're going to talk about a very big topic, and I did a show that was kind of talking about that, and probably from a different vantage point than most people. So if you want a different view, maybe check that out at your leisure some other time. And also, I had a video on my site where I got an early look at a brand new game that is coming on Tuesday called Z-Race, which is, it's an interesting game because like when people first see like screenshots and stuff, they immediately think Wipeout, and it's not really Wipeout. So if you guys remember this game Zortex 26XX from the lab, you know, that space shooter game where you have like a spaceship and you're like moving it around and shooting stuff. Well, this racing game is very much like that. You actually use your hand. It's like third person. So you're wearing your VR headset and your hand is the ship. And the advantage of doing that is there's zero motion sickness. So they can have these like tracks move around and go all kinds of different ways, and you don't get motion sick because your hand is the ship. And
your hand
for
is
some
the ship?
reason,
Yeah. What does it mean?
So like Zortex 26XX, did you ever play that in the lab, you know, where you're moving that little spaceship around and you're shooting stuff? Remember from the lab?
I can remember. Yes.
Okay, so that spaceship was your hand. So you were just moving this spaceship around, you're dodging things.
Right.
Well, this is a racing game where they do that, and you're going through these tunnels at like hyper speed, and you're grabbing these like nitros and avoiding obstacles and stuff. But the game is really early. I will say this, like a lot of games that go to early access, some of them use early access more as like almost like just the process of going through early access and then releasing, but they're not really a true early access game. This is definitely an early access game. It is early, it's unfinished. It only has like half the tracks that they want to have, but they have big plans to make it really good. Another cool aspect of it is these developers, Exicus, they like really leaned into the VR YouTube community. I'm kind of surprised MRTV doesn't have his own racing ship. I don't know if they talk to you at all, but there's perhaps, many, like Gamertag VR has his own ship, Tyrell Wood has his own ship, Cass and Cherry have their own ship, I have my own ship, Paradise Decay in chat has his own ship. So like they kind of reached out to the community and they made these like sweet, it's pretty cool. And they're going to make more ships, but also they're getting our voices. So they got like my voice in the game, and we're like great. A coach for the person that's racing. We're the coach, and so we yell at them, but we praise them. It's going to be kind of fun for people that are like really into the VR community. The game itself is going to be $15, and it's not the greatest game. Like most people are complaining because they're like, "Where's cockpit mode, man? No way I'm buying this without cockpit mode."
That would be me.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if they tried to put cockpit mode in this game, I don't know that it would work because the way the tunnels move and dip, I don't know if anybody can stomach it. But they're going to try to experiment and see if they can make a cockpit mode, but I just don't even know if it's going to work. Third person, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just wondering. You said there's no motion sickness. How does that actually? Because obviously, there's still the speed element there. But does it really help because of the way it's like third person?
It's because you're holding your hand like this, right? And you're seeing this ship right here. And there's something about, because you're moving it perfectly. So like every little movement is exactly what your real hand is. And there's something about that that communicates with your brain where it's like, oh, this is fine. You could have whatever moving in the background because I got this. Now, here's the thing, though. If you take your ship like this and you move it way down here and it's not even really in your view anymore, then you can actually get a little bit of motion sickness.
Oh,
So there's something about having it up.
Yeah, it's like when you're in a car, but you're like reading, so you feel it. But if you're looking where you're going, so it's almost like, yeah, that makes sense. There's that connection there. That's I want to try that out. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's I did play one App Lab game. It's like Smash Drums Demo or something like that. Yeah, I tried that and I was actually surprised at how enjoyable that actually was. It was actually quite cool, but it's just one song, right? Because I just kept playing one song over and over again. And I'm like, oh, I know it's a demo, but there is something in VR about music and some kind of experience, having an experience with music that's like timed to the rhythm. And there's something about that in VR. We've seen that. We've seen it with all the music
fun.
Games. Yeah, pretty much, right? But it's just more inherent with that type of style of game for some reason.
Is it Guitar Hero or whatever they're called? Imagine that, if you had some sort of like some sort
There's
of
a game
interface.
coming. It's called Airplugged.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
gonna happen.
And then you'd be on stage and you'd be able to see.
Yes,
you'll be in VR.
exactly.
That's so cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right.
You'd like that, Seb, actually, because you're learning to play the guitar.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but you can play the guitar. Like you are like on stage in real life and rocking it, right?
Not right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now you're in this podcast. Unfortunately, you have to be here.
That's okay.
Hey, MRTV though, you can play real guitar and in AR have a crowd.
You're right.
Real guitar.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Actually, honestly, my dream is still to play in a band at one time, and then like I'm playing the guitar solo, like right, and then the crowd is going crazy, and then I totally destroy the freaking guitar like this, and then I jump into the crowd, and we all get drunk. Oh my god, I'm a simple person. This is what I want to achieve in life.
You need to be like in some sort of like Who tribute band, and then you'll be able to do that every night.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I like it. Very good. All right. That's it, Anthony, for you.
Yeah. That's basically it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Then we can start with our topics here, and we'll first start with some smaller topics, and then getting to the big topics, to the real deals. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is that the Quest 2 does have some new updates, some interesting updates. So some small topics, as I mentioned, and yeah, you can now say, "Hey Facebook, hey Facebook, who's online? Hey Facebook, start Beat Saber. Hey Facebook." Something like this.
Yeah, so the Quest is turned off.
Yeah, my Quest it's going to go crazy now. It has already started Beat Saber now, and it's playing it on itself. Yeah, so
it's really not necessary. You could have just hit the menu button, hold it for 2 seconds, and just say "Play Beat Saber." But no, they want it to be called by name. It's
right,
crazy.
exactly.
I don't like that.
Give it crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I also don't think I'm going to use it so often, but well, probably some people will enjoy it. It makes it even more accessible to some people who don't want to go through the menus, right? Okay, hey Facebook, open Beat Saber. Yeah, Anthony, what do you think? Is it something that you would use?
Well, when I first heard "Hey Facebook," I'm like, I almost thought it was a joke. Like, I almost thought this was like an April Fool's thing. Hey Facebook, really? And like a lot of the stories that you read about it, they're like, why isn't it like Hey Oculus or something? Why would they choose to go with Hey Facebook?
Right.
It's not like Facebook isn't a little bit controversial in a lot of different areas all over the place. Yeah,
especially especially with
you know?
privacy, right? Especially this thing, and now it kind of listens in the whole time.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Facebook, please turn off the spine. Sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of the interesting aspects of this though is like with the Portal device, I believe you also say, hey, Facebook.
Okay.
So what some people are speculating is that Facebook might get into the game of Alexa and Siri and all that, and basically have like a legitimate digital assistant that would be able to do things for you, which honestly, as we get further into VR and AR, I think digital assistants are going to be like hyper important. And I actually believe Facebook in the area of artificial intelligence, they've spent a lot of money in that area. And so they're going to have some pretty good like AI routines when that becomes more robust, where they could have their own little digital assistant. And I think, imagine you turn on an Oculus Quest and there's some little like robot thing there that's like, hi, Anthony, how are you doing today? And it like remembers things. And it's like, you recently played this. Would you like me to update it? It might get kind of corny and goofy and you might wish it didn't exist anymore, but it might be really cool at the same time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Like the annoying paperclip on Word.
Yeah.
I hope it's not going to get like that.
Oh yeah, we all hated this guy. Yeah, right.
Everybody
There
hates
was
the
this movie
paperclip.
Blade Runner. I think the main character had like an AI girlfriend or something, and she was also updating all this stuff.
Right.
And the
It'd
movie
be kind of
Her
cool if you
also
could
has-
change that, so you could say, you could call your Quest a name. Sounds crazy, but call it something. You're either your name or
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, right. For example.
Yeah, I don't, anything really other than
Hey,
Facebook.
Zuck. Yeah, if we could just do Hey,
Zuck.
Zuck.
Zucker. Play that game. So, Tetiana, what do you think about this? Is it something that you would use or probably not? Do you use Alexa? Do you use Google Assistant?
No, it never understands my accent anyway. I'm like, hey, Google.
Come on. Your English is
okay,
amazing,
Google.
right? Your English is great. Can
I
hardly-
don't. Well, thank you, but it's not. For some reason, I always feel like just me clicking on it is always faster because for some reason,
Okay.
and I know it's something that will get fixed, but when something is voice activated, it always has this delay when it like checks whether it heard it the right way. And I'm already using the voice commands on Oculus when I just click and hold this menu button, and it automatically like you can start saying an open Beat Saber, open the store. I just do it anyway. Hey, Facebook sounds to me like Facebook is being a little bit self-conscious about people not knowing that Facebook is owning this whole thing, and they want to like, oh, well, do you remember that it's
Yeah,
actually
it's
Facebook,
Facebook, yeah,
and
right.
not Oculus? So it's Facebook. Call us that. Like,
Right.
Don't call us Oculus. We're Facebook. So like,
This is-
nah, I'm
yeah,
not
right.
impressed.
I suppose Facebook is easier to say than Oculus. It's like three
Could be.
syllables.
Could be, yeah. But I think everyone knows now that Oculus is gone and it's all Facebook. Anyways, if you're concerned about the privacy, about this Hey Facebook thing, you can opt out, which I think is good. So you can go to the settings and it's not going to listen to you anymore. But it's still going to look into your place, that's for sure. Right. Another thing, another update. So Oculus is really like pushing it hard, right? So many updates now. Still, now we're at update number 26. Just last week or the week before, we talked about update 25. So now there's a cool addition, which is the couch mode. So if you have a couch close to your play area, you can also map that couch, and in virtual reality, when you're in a game, you're going to see it like as a blue box when you approach that couch. And if you then sit on the couch, the game is going to ask you, do you want to change to couch mode, to sitting mode? And I think it's a pretty cool thing, right? They are
I've tried it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
How
I
is
love
it? Tell us about
you
it.
tried it? Oh, God.
Tell us
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
Still don't have it.
I was in because my VR sessions are quite long, generally speaking, and I can max out the battery of the Quest pretty much every time I use it, really. And sometimes I get a bit, stiff on the old feet, and I just want to sit down, but I don't want to stop playing my game, because I'm really into it. So this just enables me just to have that little sit down and still continue playing. And it's actually, they've done it really well. I think it's a fantastic. I've got to say this just again shows the incredible versatility of the Quest 2 and how for this such a cheap headset, because it is really for what it's doing. It's doing first, and no other headset out there is doing stuff like this with their Guardians. So yeah, I think it's something that it doesn't detract from the immersion either, really. You just kind of, because mine's just at the back, kind of thing. And I just fancy to sit down. I'll just sit down. Don't have to take my headset off anymore. Don't have to trip over anything, hopefully. And yeah, that's great.
But what I find fascinating is, when we had this update 24 and 25, there's all these little functions and bug fixes and all these things. 26, here's a couch. Any bug fixes? Nope, just the couch.
Yeah, right. That's
hey,
true.
a couch is a big deal, though. That's a big deal.
It is.
So
No,
the Guardian isn't tracking pets yet, is it? Because I found it
No.
was doing something really weird the other day. I was just doing my boundary, when you're in pass-through mode, and then one of my dogs came in, sort of just to walk across the boundary, and it started like having little pointers on
it's
it.
starting to analyze. No.
I think they heard my idea.
I thought,
Last
hang on a
time.
minute, that's so cool. And then
It's
obviously when I was in the
learning.
game,
It's
it is.
learning.
It is learning. It's understanding what my dog likes, what kind of pet food it likes, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Paradise said, "What happens if there's a dog on your couch? They're going to have to move." That's basically.
Yeah, but it's getting better, and you can really tell that Facebook is pushing it. Yeah, they really try to make it as good as possible, and I think they're really doing a good job. The whole thing is getting just so streamlined.
It's very
You
seamless.
put it on your face, it's amazing. Now you even have couches. You never have to leave virtual reality anymore. It's good. So you have to give it to them. They are really pushing it, right?
I'm sure there's some people out there, though, that would trade couch mode for ceiling fan mode. You know what I mean? Like for object on the ceiling that might cause serious damage mode. Or for like, I've got a big giant 65-inch 4K TV mode. Can we have that one?
I nearly did.
So
Yeah,
you
I
can
nearly
save
trashed
my
it.
TV.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, you know what I've started doing now? Obviously the Guardian on the floor. I put a little kink in it where the TV is.
Kink? What does it mean?
Like a little line. Like basically, imagine your boundaries like a circle. I just put a little line exactly where my TV is. So when I'm moving around, I'll just look on the floor and go, "Oh yeah, my TV's there. Okay, at least I know where I am." It's just a little thing I tried the other day, and it really works well. So if you've got an expensive TV, it's worth doing that, I think.
The nice thing is when all these companies start really competing with each other, if that ever happens, they're going to try to make more and more advanced. Our Guardian is so much better. Our Guardian determines your dogs and all this.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
bring it on. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
as long as there's no monopoly that Facebook does take over and all the little companies that try to do it better.
Well,
Oh,
that
okay,
could
I like
never
what you're
happen.
doing. We own it now.
Yeah, right. But that's what they are doing right now, right? But thanks to Sony, it's not going to happen, and that's what we're going to talk about later. It's a very cool news, I think. The PSVR 2 thing is amazing. Anyways, so Facebook is pushing it. Great new updates. Very nice. All right, so let's talk about the next little story here, and I found that on VR Scout. So you can now create your own VR chat avatar in minutes with Ready Player Me. So for all of you who don't know yet Ready Player Me, it's a website. You can go to the website and you can really easily make your own avatar. The only thing that you have to do is you have to upload a picture of yourself, and then you're getting a really cool, nice avatar, which you can finish in like a couple of minutes. And please check out my screen right now. I'm sharing it right now. So you can see that this lady uploaded this picture, and this is how her avatar looks like. Very cool, very close to the real thing. Also, this guy here, he took a selfie, and then this is what came out of it. So a pretty nice representation. You can have your avatar ready in a couple of minutes only. I tried it with myself, obviously. And pretty good. Not as good as the real thing, but pretty good. So, now you can go to vrchat.readyplayer.me, and you can make that avatar, and then you can simply click on import to VR chat. You tell them your VR chat profile, and then your avatar is going to be in VR chat. Pretty cool, right? Don't you think? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea as a concept to create, a more personalized avatar and VR chat. But, well, when I was reading that article, I was thinking, well, the spaces like alt space and what was the other one?
Big screen beta.
Big screen, yeah. So those have human-like avatars where you can create something that looks like you, so you personalize it that way. From the times that I tried VR chat, if there's one thing that I've learned is that people are ridiculous,
Yeah.
and they want to create
Right.
as ridiculous avatars as they want, as they can, because they can. And I just saw that people want to be as far away from normal there as possible. So I think it's great that there is this technology that allows you to still make something very unique, very personal. But I also think that there's still going to be thousands of people who will be using these ridiculous 3D models and making these huge collections of the avatars that they have. So I still think that will preserve for VR chat. But I wonder, like, is
Right.
it just for VR chat? I'm sure it can be imported to other spaces as well.
Right. You can also use this in other places. So the Ready Player Me, they are doing a great job to include their avatars in as many social worlds as possible. So that is working out pretty well. And I agree with you, Tetiana. So I was in VR chat like probably 2 times in my life, but it has been ridiculous. Like super small people, like doing
Bizarre,
funny things, bizarre things, and like it's pretty fun though. Anthony,
Psychedelic.
are you interested in social VR stuff?
You know, I feel like I'm hard to impress basically when it comes to like this social, like all the social VR stuff that I've seen. It's like there is the gee whiz factor of like, oh my God, I'm in a room with other weeble wobbles and we're all walking around and weeble wobbling. And what I need is I need the Facebook avatars, like for it to be more than just a little gee whiz, kind of like, gee whiz, this is really cool, but it fades off for me after a while. Like after I do it for 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. A Zoom call would be fine with me. Now, where this gets next gen is when you actually do have these like avatars and there's actual like body language that's conveyed, eyes moving around, facial expressions.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for like this next level, which might be like 3 years away still.
No, not 3 years. Like in the last show, we talked about the Epic Games MetaHuman Creator. You know, and that's like Epic's Games is making this, and it's going to be accessible to all of us very soon. And if games are created with the Unreal Engine, we might have super realistic avatars very soon. So yeah, who knows? It might not be so far away actually. So I'm looking forward to that. Steve, what do you think about this? Is it something? Are you interested in social VR? Have you ever tried
Not
it?
really, no. I'm not really. I'm a bit of a solitary VR person, really. Apart from if I obviously
anti-social VR.
Yeah. Well, but I get what Tetiana was saying. Like, I think a lot of about VR is that escapism, isn't it? So I wouldn't want to be me in VR. The last thing I'd want to do is just recreate my face in VR. It's just completely pointless and it's not very much fun. You know, I'd want to just be someone crazy or just completely, you know, encapsulate that whole idea of this, you know, new world. I can just be anyone I want to be. But I mean, I have used VR socially quite a bit actually, even though I haven't, not because I've wanted to, just because it's just happened that way. But apart from, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit sort of old school. I'm not that. I'm more excited about what we was talking about last week rather. I think, you know, to have sort of that sort of textured skin and just make it look completely realistic with the full body and the facial tracking. I think that's where we're going next. This is just a bit of a gimmick for now for me.
Yeah, and those are also probably going to be used more for collaboration and productivity rather than gaming. Because VR, I don't think VR chat is used much for like corporate meetings or something. It's not that kind of space. But to have those realistic avatars, maybe not even like those meta realism that you talked last time, but something like this, right? You create your avatar from the picture. It's much more accurate than something you would just make in alt space. And then when you have these virtual meetings, if we do get to the point where we have embodied movements and facial expressions, that'll be much better for like increased productivity and cooperation among people. You actually have a better sense that you're with them in the room talking about these things. You don't get distracted by these blink eyes, just a blank face, just hands are moving like that.
Funny, yeah, because Alt Space is
Right.
very cool. I've used that quite a bit, and I've done a conference there with HP once actually, and that was a good fun. And I said this last time, I think, that even though you don't have the facial sort of stuff going on, when you're talking to someone, because their body language and the way they're moving, you fill in the blanks, don't you? And you kind of know what they're, how they're responding.
Right.
So, already. So it can only get better from there.
Yeah, it can just only get better. So the better it gets, the better, I guess, it is for productivity as well.
I think so, yeah. And I totally agree with what you said, like VR chat is not going to be used in a business kind of setting. But that reminded me of this funny news. Did you see that Zoom conference, that kind of court hearing in the US, where somebody couldn't turn off their
Oh God, let's
their
not
cat
go there again.
the cat
Oh, yeah.
filter? Oh my God,
Yeah.
I was like laughing so hard at that. I was like, I'm not a cat. I'm not a cat. No, that's just my filter. Oh my God, it's so funny.
way.
I loved it.
I thought you were going
watched
somewhere else with that,
No,
Sebastian.
no,
Sorry.
no.
We watched it so many times.
Yeah?
I cannot tell you how many times we watched that video. And it was funny because they even created like
Memes out of
little
it.
comics
Yeah.
where there's like a cat says, "Oh no, my human filter isn't
Yeah,
working."
exactly.
What you gonna
I saw
do?
that.
I
I
got
saw
this.
that too.
Not a cat.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that. That's so funny.
That was so funny. Oh my goodness.
I haven't actually seen the video. I've heard it happened, but
Oh, you
I didn't know
must
was on
see
the
it.
internet.
You
Yes,
must see
you
it. It's
must.
just so
I will,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Like this
I
guy
will send the link to see.
Yeah,
as a
please-
cat,
please
right, with a
send me
cat
that.
filter. I'm not a cat. Oh God,
Yeah,
I loved
I
it.
need-
It's
I need
it's
to
a,
see that.
it's
I was
incredible.
Like, how could they like not be laughing? There are two other men just sitting there
You're
staring
right.
at the camera, like,
Oh,
come
that
on,
makes it even
be
funnier.
professional. I would be dying.
I was laughing. I was incredible. Oh my goodness. Anyways, good. Let's become real again and let's talk about the next topic here.
Oh yeah, VR. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So
It's still VR.
it's yeah, right.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the next topic here, and let's have a look at the Road to VR article. So SteamVR update brings full support for OpenXR 1.0. By the way, is it 1.0 or is it 1.0? How do you say that in English?
1.0.
Probably one dot.
1.0.
probably
One dot? Yeah,
I don't know.
1.0.
That's worse.
I don't know. Yeah, 1.0.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, it's
1.0. 1.0.
Oh, 1.0. Okay.
That's what we
Please
say.
leave a comment in the comment section. What is the
We
correct
say
thing to
here
do?
in
Let's have a
America.
poll.
Yeah, another poll. Yeah, a huge step for the open standard. So let me tell you what OpenXR is. OpenXR is an open standard, and it makes it easier for developers to develop VR games, because instead of having to develop your game for the Quest and the Rift S and for the Windows Mixed Reality headset and for the PSVR, you would just develop your game against the OpenXR standard. And if the OpenXR standard is supported, like for example by SteamVR, it's going to work on all the SteamVR compatible headsets. And if Quest, for example, and what they want to do also would like support the OpenXR standard, it would also directly work on the Quest without having to change the code. So lots of time saved for all the developers. So OpenXR is fantastic, and that SteamVR is now supporting it completely is amazing news for all the developers out there. So we can just hope that everyone is going to adopt it. Hopefully that the Quest is also 100% going to adopt it, and more headsets are going to adopt it. Good news, right? What do you think?
Fantastic news, really. But there's only one bit of news I am gutted about that whole update. It's great for HTC Vive owners and Valve Index owners that this motion smoothing has been improved.
Okay.
So you'll find your games now will run really well with sort of asynchronous time warp. So I think there's up to 6 frames that can be interpreted now, which can bring the frame rate really low, and you can lock that down. So that I'm like, that's almost enough
Alright.
for me to buy an Index, actually, because that's a big deal for me with flight sims. That will never reach 90 frames per second ever. There's no way. But the trouble is, it's not going to support the Reverb G2 or any Windows mixed reality headsets, unfortunately. It's got to be for SteamVR itself. So I was a bit disappointed with that. But everything else, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Really.
It's pretty good, right? I mean, yeah, of course. It's great that developers can simply develop against OpenXR and that's it. So, whatever it makes it easier for developers to deploy their games on all the platforms, the better, right? Tetiana? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, it kind of makes me think of the exclusive games. I wonder if there's the concept of like the game exclusivity will still exist. I don't know if that actually supports like games like PlayStation VR. Would it cover that as well?
Right
not.
now, I don't think so. I don't
Probably
think
not.
that it's
Okay.
OpenXR. But yeah, who
Yep.
knows? On the long run, probably it also might support it, the PSVR 2, the OpenXR standard. I just think it's good to have these standards and yeah, not like many different standards and make it just as easy and simple as possible for developers to give us the games on all the platforms. Just put it out there. Good
Yeah.
news. Good
They
news.
have to figure it out. They really do, because like it's still, VR, it's been around for a while, but not long enough to have this standardized way of like a path for everyone that has been tested and has been working. So hopefully this is a step in the right direction to make this
Right.
much easier for everyone else.
Right. I think this is simply good news, right, Anthony?
My question on it is, okay, so like if a developer, let's say a developer is making a game in Unity and they're making this game in Unity for PCVR. Now, they can program it somehow in OpenXR that takes advantage of that it's being developed in Unity, and then that can just work on the Oculus Quest with no alterations. Because
Yes.
what I thought this was, is I thought it was more for like all the different controllers and the menus and like
Also-
camera angles and stuff, but not like actual game engine conversion. Am I confused here? I don't know.
Well, that's a good question though. But if you program against this API, and it does have to do with controllers and stuff, so you don't have to like
Adjust the controllers,
adjust the
like
controllers,
all
for
the different
example.
buttons and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. You
Menus and stuff like that.
exactly. You program against the standard, and you say, okay, now the user clicks the menu button, right, for this OpenXR. And then for all the different platforms like Quest, they know what is the menu button, right? So they map it to their platform,
yeah.
and you don't have to program it for the
Oh,
Quest.
that's so nice.
Yeah,
It's
that
really
would be
good.
great.
We've all been there, haven't we? We've all been
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
But if you're making a game in Unity and it takes, you're making a game for PCVR in Unity, and it takes you like a year and a half to make this game, putting it on Quest usually takes like a couple more months to do that.
All right. Do you mean
You're-
because
with this, would it be like instantaneous?
No, no,
Bam?
no.
That would be
No,
incredible,
no.
but I don't think it's really
No,
like that. Yeah.
not
Okay.
not like this. Of
Okay.
course, it's still about like how many polygons does it have and stuff.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, no, that's not taking it away. Oh, that would be amazing. You just program one time and it's going to be perfect for
That'd be
all the
cool,
systems. No, we're not there yet.
One day.
I
One day.
think,
One day.
No, that will never happen because
Right.
obviously each sort of developer.
Don't say
software-
never, because AI will figure something out.
Unless it's obviously some sort of cloud-based thing, then obviously it would do. But I mean, in terms of Oculus is Oculus, when you've got Viveport and you've got, SteamVR, and it's just it wouldn't work that way, unfortunately. But I mean, SteamVR, they've been pushing out updates like crazy,
all the
crazy
time.
high recently.
All the time.
It's really exciting, and even Windows Mixed Reality are pushing the odd update here and there, believe it or not. And I just feel it's just VR is it's getting mainstream. It is. It's definitely getting there.
We're going there. Oh my goodness, this is going to be the biggest show on YouTube.
Hell yeah!
yeah, hell yeah, right. Okay, so now let's get back to reality.
Virtual reality.
And right, actually, the next topic is more about augmented reality. Oh yes, so actually, we hear lots of things about augmented reality, right? The Apple VR headset that we've been talking about. It also seems to be a VR headset with pass-through, which makes AR possible. Then we heard about the Lynx R1 last show, which also does this kind of VR thing that does AR. And now the leaker Walking Cat, he has leaked another interesting headset, or actually he has leaked two headsets. The Glasses Lite. Oh, one moment, let me change the volume here. The Glasses Lite from Samsung, and also the AR glasses from Samsung, and one is simply a viewer where you get like a virtual screen floating in front of you, and yeah, you can watch YouTube videos and such. And yeah, you can also work on a computer screen which is floating in front of you, and that's what we're looking at right now here. And the other one is more of an AR headset with lots of hand gestures where you can make something bigger with your hands. And let me just show you the other one as well, just to give you an idea about how it looks like. It's a very short video. So these are concept videos, because honestly speaking, on that headset you don't see any kind of cameras, nothing. It just seems to be too perfect to be true.
I was going to say the same, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
so
and also, weren't they supposed to be tethered? Like, I thought they were supposed to be connected with a cable, but maybe they're making them wireless. But
right,
if they're using that technology, the Qualcomm, that it
right. No,
connected.
this is really more of a concept right
It's
now.
James Bond, isn't it? This is what this is.
It is, yeah. This is our future. This is going to happen, and especially the glasses light. You know, those glasses where you simply have like a floating screen in front of you. That is easily doable. And I do have some headsets here already, like the Nreal Lite, which is such a headset which I can connect to my phone, and then I have this virtual screen floating in front of me. So, Anthony, I want to ask you: is that something that interests you? This kind of glasses, which will give you like a virtual screen which floats in front of you, and then you would watch your YouTube videos on it. You can do some computer work on it. Is that something that you see in your lifestyle that could fit in there?
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing I've always dreamed about in like some far-flung future reality would be, like, for example, let's say let's say you have to go to grandma's house for some reason. You're going to grandma's house. It's going to be, obviously you haven't seen grandma in a long time. So you're going to hug her and you're going to try her lasagna and whatever, and everything's going to be great. But after a while, you're going to start to get a little bit bored, right? And wouldn't it be awesome if you could just be sitting on the couch and you could just go zzz and just create a screen right here and have a keyboard, and you could start working on it and be like, yeah, grandma, yeah, yeah, tell me about, you went to Florida, how was it? Okay. And so there's this like dream of like, imagine if we could create a screen out of thin air that doesn't have to go in our pocket or anything, and it could go anywhere with us, and I could lay back down and it could be like this, and I can move over here, and I'm going to make a sandwich and the screen is following me. And what AR is going to do, it will allow us to do that. Now, haven't you ever been watching an NFL football game and somehow you had to go to the bathroom, but they were on the goal line, and so you'll be able to continue the experience wherever you go. And this is a dream that we have, and AR is going to be able to do that. And we're going to get these little viewers, these light viewers that are going to be able to do these kinds of things,
Right.
Notifications and stuff like that. Now, the one thing I did notice in that video, the Samsung Light one with the like white looking Ray-Bans, it looks like they took 3 different pairs of white Ray-Bans and like just merged them together.
Yeah,
because,
it's a bit fat, right?
The
Yeah.
frames, it is fat. Like
Right.
this guy's walking around, they show him in the sun, and it's like, yeah, it turns into sunglasses, man. He's on the beach, he's enjoying
Right.
himself with his drone, right? And you see inside the glasses, and it's like all these little technological things. No one's going to be able to wear this at Starbucks or anything. I don't know why people are kind of like pretending, oh yeah, it's just regular glasses, man. Wear it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
But it is amazing. At the same time, I mean, I'm kind of like criticizing it there, but at the same time, it's amazing that we're moving this quickly, this fast. Because one of the articles was saying, well, we don't believe there's any actual technology in here. This is just a fake. No, there could be. As thick as that thing was, there could be processors all up in there doing all kinds of stuff.
But that kind of makes you think about it, about how heavy this might be. I mean, they say it could be lightweight, but still, there is a lot of like technology packed into that frames, and it just wears like glasses. It doesn't have this goggle structure that it had strap that would secure it to your head. All I could think about is how are you gonna wear it? What is it gonna fall off my head easily? Or what if it's really uncomfortable on my nose? I don't know. It's supposed to be like even regular glasses sometimes are not comfortable for me to wear. But with this heavy frame and nothing to secure it with, just wonder how light they can make it.
Right. It probably is still a bit heavy in the first place, but well, I think we're going to get there. We're definitely going to get there, and we're still at the very beginning of this, right? It's not mass market yet, but it is going to be at one point, and I think this point is going to be very soon. I totally believe in that technology, as you probably know, and I do think that AR is going to be bigger than VR for sure. It's going to do away with our smartphones. So instead of sitting in the public transportation and everybody is just looking at their smartphone and doing this kind of gesture with the thumb, people are going to sit there with their headsets and they're doing this here. They're going to like pinch into the air and they're having these virtual screens. It is absolutely going to happen. And we're seeing that right now. It is going to happen actually. The Unreal light glasses, they are going to come out very soon. It's something that is also like very thin that you connect to your phone. Then you have like several virtual screens. I've tested this out at CES last year, and the demo was like incredible. So simply put it into your Android phone, and then I could choose YouTube, for example, which was one floating screen. Then I could do another floating screen like Twitter. I put it just on the right next to it, and on the left probably I look at some stocks or whatever I wanted to, and it's amazing, right? And then I can,
you know what?
I can
You
sit
could
there,
be
yeah.
at work. Check this out.
Yeah.
You could be at work. You're working, and then you're trading stocks on like 7 different
Exactly.
monitors, and
No,
your
really.
boss has no
Exactly.
idea.
You're right. Exactly. You're looking at all these stocks, and you're killing
Day
it.
trade.
And think
Right.
about how decluttered your desk would be.
Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
2 monitors right now, and there are some
Right,
who
me
have
too.
3 and 4. Just like completely throw them away, and it can't mess up with someone. You know, for some people, it's like culture, computer culture. You like seeing these monitors on your desk. You design it, the setup, and it's kind of like this paradigm shift, the transition from the physical books to ebooks. Some people just resist it.
Yeah,
No, I like
I
my
agree.
regular books. I don't want it. I want my
yeah.
collection. So I'm sure
It's
there
like,
will be
you know,
people who
when
like.
peop-
I love.
when people used to have separates for hi-fis and stuff like that, and I remember when my parents and that, they used to have this incredible sound system, and it had a record player and it had a
Really
CD.
good tweeters.
Yeah, like an equalizer section like this
Oh,
big,
yeah.
just to change the big. You never did change it, but it looked cool. And you'd have like a tape player and everything, and then now it's just a phone, isn't it, or something? And do you know what I can see though? These AR glasses, like it's going to take social distancing to a new level, isn't it? Because like you're going to need to you have your own space, otherwise you can be poking people's eyes out everywhere. You're doing this in the bus and everything.
Right.
Right. People are going to be injured all over the place. It's going to be crazy. But for me personally, I like Anthony. If I went away somewhere, this is exactly why I'd use something like this. But I think for everyday thing, I quite like the fact of sitting on my sofa, and that's it. I don't really want to have glasses on being busy doing this. I'd rather just have a room where I go and sit on my computer, and then when I want to go away from it, I'll go somewhere else and maybe, I don't know. I'm a bit
Don't you want
old-fashioned with
Twitter
it.
to follow you everywhere at all times?
I don't even have a Twitter account. I don't
Yeah,
even-
you should
so-
totally start it, so I can at least tag you whenever I talk about the Next Dimension podcast.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Steve, I'm going to remind you in Next Dimension podcast episode 150 about what you said, because you're going to be sitting there
Yeah.
with your beautiful new AR glasses and like looking at the chat.
No,
while
his
you're-
Neuralink chip in his brain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to remember. I'm going to tell you, Steve. I'm going
play
to.
it back, and it'll be all echoey, and it'll be black and white, and then it'll be all greyed out, and it'll be like, oh my god, why did I say that then?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to laugh at you. Next Dimension
Well, you already
podcast.
have already.
Yeah, I do. Next Dimension podcast, episode
Wait for
150. We're going to look back at this show, and it's going to be so funny. Yeah, right. So we're getting closer to AR. It's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. We're just a couple of years back, but it's going to happen, and we're going to see the first headsets. Yeah, hitting us. The Unreal is going to hit very soon, and yeah, then the VR, the Apple thing is interesting. All right, but now why don't we get to our main topics? Let's get real here. I know that all the people who are watching this live right now, they've been waiting for it. So let's start with the first big topic here. And the first big topic is that virtual desktop, our favorite app, virtual desktop for the Quest is now available in the Quest store in its entirety, just like Guy Godin, the developer of the virtual desktop, has imagined it, with the function to wirelessly stream PSVR content to your Quest without any side loading. And it's kind of interesting because, well, Facebook, they have like totally banned that function, right? In the beginning. And they said like, oh no, you know what? The quality is probably not good enough. And we cannot make sure that the quality is good for everyone. And that's why it was so complicated to get it. And Guy Godin, he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it anyways, and I'm going to simply have people sideload that little patch onto virtual desktop so that they can still use their Quest wirelessly. And that's what so many people did. So many people used SideQuest to patch it and to be able to wirelessly stream the PSVR content to their Quest. Now, App Labs came out, and there was this kind of way where developers could more easily get their content onto the Quest, even if it was not approved. And Guy Godin was waiting for that approval for that patch. But now suddenly Facebook says, you know what? This is good shit. You know what? We're going to have it now.
That's exactly what they said.
That's exactly what they said. They called Guy Godin and said, you know what? This is good shit. Yeah, have your wireless streaming in your virtual desktop software from the beginning. No side loading needed whatsoever. Wow, cool. Of course, cool for everyone, right? Don't need to side load anymore. But I want to ask you, why is that suddenly happening? Why the change of heart from Facebook?
Because they're altruistic and they love the in-level customer and they just want to be so nice to us. It has nothing to do with some type of legal technicality because it was about to go through App Lab and it would have exposed them to some kind of problem. I'm telling you, there's got to be something going on here. But I will tell you this, Guy Godin was last spotted at a Lamborghini dealership earlier this morning.
Guy Godin is an amazing guy, and Guy Godin is an amazing guy. Yeah. Anyways,
you had him on the podcast, didn't you? It was an interesting one, really.
Yeah, it was a great,
down-to-earth guy, and I'm so pleased for him. Like,
yeah, of course.
I think this is the day where Facebook ate humble pie, isn't it? Really, you know, and it's refreshing, and it's a great.
No,
for me personally. Sorry, go on.
No, go. You go on first.
I was just going to say, like, for me, the Quest 2 is all about convenience for me. Like, I'm a PC VR guy, you know, and I tweak and I fiddle around with the computer and I mess around with settings, and I'm happy doing that. So when I use the Quest 2, I want it to be easy. I want it to be literally, I switch it on, get into a game, and take, and that's it basically. And now I am interested in trying virtual. I haven't actually tried the Quest 2 wirelessly yet.
It's great. It works so well. It's great.
That's simply because I mean, SideQuest has helped me out, admittedly, with this issue I had. But generally speaking, I can't be bothered to mess around side loading stuff and trying to work it all out and stuff. I know it's simple, but for me, I don't want to use the Quest like that. So now that this is on the actual official store, I will be buying it this weekend and trying it out, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah.
It's interesting that for some people it actually can be a little bit psychological
think so.
Oh, you need to buy this, but it doesn't actually do what you want it to do unless you do something side loading, whatever that I don't want to do. So I did it. I've been doing this streaming, wireless streaming with the patch for a while before it became official, I guess. And the only thing that makes it easy is that you don't have to jump through the hoops of SideQuest. And while before I wasn't sure, I thought SideQuest, no, it has its purpose. It's going to continue having its purpose. I'm getting more and more convinced that this is the end.
Nail in the coffin or what? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really
remember
hope not.
we had this conversation. We had the argument about it, and I had my reasons. But this is probably one of the most downloaded apps or patches from side quests, if there is no need for that, there's really very little left. Along with the app labs and all of that, like I'm getting very much convinced that there's a big reason to kill side quests.
There's a lot of modders out there, though, isn't there? Really, there's always going to be a call for something like side quests that you can really like unravel all of that. You can try so many different games or something a little bit experimental. I think
And I really hope so.
if I
Yeah.
didn't have a computer or PC, I would want side quest in my life a bit more, really.
And that was my main argument too. And that's what I'm thinking. It's probably going to be this indie developer space for everyone to just share their work in progress, anything that's super experimental. It might be. But yeah, really these big things that brought money, they're all moving to Oculus, to the official store. And that's very, very obvious. So, but I'm happy as a consumer. I'm happy for this convenience. I think it's great for us as consumers to have this.
Yeah, for the way I use the Quest 2, and I think I speak for a lot of people, I think it's a good thing, really, definitely.
Right. That makes sense. So let me tell you my opinion why this is now available on Facebook, on the original store. So I just like Anthony, I think that Facebook has our interest at heart. They love us. They want to make us happy. They just want to make us super happy and just give us the most convenient way. And they just saw it like, oh my goodness, we did a mistake. We should have like given it to them in the first place. Yeah, obviously, I'm kidding here. You know that. So for sure, this is to pacify the VR community. There's no question about it. They are so smart. Facebook is such a smart company. They're doing everything exactly right. So, of course, they know that the community loves this app. They know exactly that they love this app. And they found out, but that lots of people did jump through these hoops to still make it happen, right? And now they were like put on the spot here because it's a bit strange that if they would not allow Guy Godin to at least have it on Apple app, right? Because the sole reason...
it makes them look bad. It makes them look bad, so they had to cave.
Exactly. So even if they would not have allowed Guy Godin on
because they would have to deny him on App Lab, and that would just it would be a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
You've solved the crime. You've solved it.
Exactly. Right. you solved it first. They have our best interest at heart, Facebook.
Yeah. This also means that they probably don't have their own. Like, we're not going to get their streaming option until Quest 3 or Quest. We're going to talk about
we're going to talk about this in a moment. Right. We're going to talk about this in a moment. Anyways, so Facebook is really smart. They know exactly how to game the community, how to pacify the community. And if they would have said to Guy Godin, no, you cannot put it on App Lab, strange. Wouldn't have made sense, right? But if they would have let it on App Lab, and it's still against their terms, and it's still the same problems, right? Like before, like as in like, okay, some people might have a bad experience, and it would have also exposed them, right? So the only right thing to do, the only good thing, the good play is to allow him to put it on the store, and that's what they did. So yeah, it's funny, it's interesting.
Helping the VR community is the side effect of what Facebook does.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I love this though, because you're not going to get this information from any other podcast like this.
No,
what we're saying is it's quite controversial, really, but it's actually the truth as well. So I think people need to understand the sort of the other side of the coin, so to speak. And you're totally right. There's no doubt about that.
I think so, really. So this podcast is an independent one, and I think that is a good thing to be in these times, in these hard times. Yeah, right.
Hey, Facebook.
Right. Hey, Facebook, please start the game. Okay, cool. So, anyways, I'm really happy for Guy Godin that he has his app now on the Quest Store, just like as he intended it to be in the first place, right? Not so many people had to jump through all these hoops to make this happen, but now it is, actually there. And, well, SideQuest, it's a different story about SideQuest. Where is it going to go? What's it going to be? It's going to be more, it's a different thing now. It's a different thing. Anyways, we talked about this before. Good. Anyways, I'm
It's
happy.
Pornhub. No.
It's the black market now.
It's the black market now,
The
right?
deep web, the dark web.
The dark web, right. Good. Anyways, it is good news that now that now virtual desktop is on the Quest market as it's supposed to be, and people can now try to use it wirelessly without having to sideload, and it is working beautifully. I still think so. I still think though that Facebook is going to come up with their own wireless method of streaming content. What do you guys
But
think?
probably not this generation though. Otherwise, I don't think they would have did this.
Right.
They're not ready for that yet. I don't think they're ready. Yeah. You're right. That's why. It's another
Wi-Fi 6E is probably what they want.
Could be.
Wi-Fi 6E on Quest 3.
Right. And now probably we're going to see it in a Quest Pro. And that's how we get to our next topic. So let's have a look at the Upload VR article. Oculus Quest Pro, Facebook's Bosworth winks at the potential. So what happened is the following. So Bosworth, the vice president of augmented and virtual reality at Facebook, did an Instagram Ask Me Anything. And it seems like that's happening quite frequently recently. And in the last one, somebody asked the following question. Why can't Oculus make a $600 headset and put the best specs like Quest Pro 3, etc., please? Bosworth then said, Quest Pro? Huh? Interesting. And gave a wink to the camera. Wink, wink, wink. And so that's how the rumor basically started, that actually the next Quest that Facebook did already talk about in that call that they had, in that investor call, that could probably be a Quest Pro. So it could probably not be a Quest 3 with the next best chipset, not with the XR3 or what, but it could be like a Quest 2 with the XR2 chipset, but everything else is more pro. So let's think about what this could be. Probably this could be like 2 displays instead of 1 display. Probably this could be like better IPD adjustment. Probably this could be better audio, like the Valve Index or the G2 audio. Probably this could be a way more comfortable headset. Probably this could be a bigger FOV. Probably this could be a higher resolution Quest 2. So this is actually really interesting, and let me tell you what I think about it before I ask our crew here what they think about it. So, in my opinion, this kind of makes sense. Because this new Quest, it's going to come out probably not in this year, but in next year. Not in this year for sure, right? We just got the Quest 2. Quest 2, it feels like it, but already last year. But if it comes out next year, a Quest 3 wouldn't make sense. Because even now, we don't have Quest 2 games that make use of the XR2 chipset. So instead of pissing off so many more people, it would make so much more sense to come out with that Quest 2 Pro, which also has the XR2 chipset. And once it's out, so many people are going to have the Quest 2 or the Quest 2 Pro, and then they're going to make all the games which are just for the Quest 2 and the Quest 2 Pro with that XR2 chipset. In my opinion, it makes so much sense not to go for the next best chipset, but to go for that Quest Pro in order to get the money from the people who don't want that race to the bottom Quest 2, who really are totally fine with spending $600, $700. Like the people who get the Reverb G2 and the Index, right? They're totally not getting to that market right now. But with a Quest 2 Pro, they could totally get that money and actually make money from hardware as well. And for those people who think, hey, $600, $700 is too expensive, all right, no problem. Go for the actual Quest 2. What do you think about my thoughts about that?
I can probably just quickly chime in because I don't have a lot to say really about it. But for me, I just feel, is Facebook even more aggressive than we first thought about this? Because we initially kind of thought, yeah, maybe they'll get a headset out every 2 years, but maybe there's going to be a new Quest every 2 years and an incremental Pro version, in between the year kind of thing. And this is what we're going to get this year, the Pro, then Quest 3 next year, then Quest 3 Pro the year after. And the Pro could be something so simple as perhaps have a dedicated display port and maybe a little bit more comfort. Just those little things, they seem small, but that is enough for me to go, hang on a minute, I might be interested in that myself kind of thing. I don't want to say no Facebook login, but that would be hilarious. But obviously that's not going to happen. But I just feel like, my God, they're actually more aggressive than I first thought. And I already realized, I was already annoyed that they mentioned any hints of the Quest 3 already. And, I just feel like, oh God, this is we're just going to see so many headsets from them now. From this point onwards, we're just going to be like not be able to keep track.
But that's okay. But Quest 2 Pro wouldn't be as hurtful as a Quest 3, right? If the Quest 2 Pro came out, you wouldn't feel like, oh, the fuckers, right?
Yeah, especially if they keep selling Quest 2, right? Like the regular Quest 2 keeps selling right along with it. Yeah.
Sure.
The Quest 2 Pro, will that have to be better than the Quest 3 standard? How are they going to market this really? But I think unless the Pro is for the pro gamer, like the PC gamer or whatever, where you've got those extra features. Dedicated display port. Come on, if they brought out that, if it was, because I get so frustrated with the Quest 2. I've stopped using it for flight simming at the moment because it just honestly, no matter what PC you've got, it just doesn't work that well. It's just it's so hard with that sort of decoding going on. It's such an issue with it, and I just feel that a Pro version could have that as a big feature. And if it did, I probably would buy one.
Well, Facebook were really holding back with trying to keep it as cheap as possible. They really could do much better in terms of the resolution, the refresh rate, and some of the things that they added. But definitely they were trying to save as much money for themselves and for the users just to get them into VR. So it's really not surprising. I totally agree with you, Sebastian, that they are going to do this. Better resolution, refresh rate, better tracking, IPD, all these little things that probably they could have done a year ago, but they didn't because that would drive the prices up to 600. So there might be.
Well, one problem is though, like better resolution, better FOV, eye tracking. They can't really do that because that creates a new, like what they can do is they can do like comfort. They can do like maybe a bigger sweet spot. They can't go to a bigger FOV because that changes the processing requirements for games. So they can't have two level. They can't have this game uses an expanded FOV.
No. Sorry, Anthony. To just go into here right now, they can if suddenly they have better lenses and suddenly the displays are bigger and it's two displays. You can change the FOV. Even without having to change the resolution.
But not by a lot. Not by a lot. I think what the Quest 3 is all about is the Quest Pro, if they do this. See, the other thing we got to remember too. Remember, Mark Zuckerberg said at the latest quarterly earnings report, he said that we are looking at the first mass market VR headset ever. Like he said that, and that means 10 million units sold. Like it has to get to 10 million. So if they create a Quest 3, is that part of that? Like how do you get to 10 million? So if you do a Quest Pro and it's basically the same platform, but it just has some different accoutrements added to it to make it a much like quality of life improvements, then it's still part of the same ecosystem. It's still part of this like mass market headset that hits 10 million sold. But if they go to a Quest 3 right away, I don't see how you get your 10 million sold unless he was just kind of like dancing around there. But yeah, there's lots of ways to think about this. So many different angles.
It's not going to have a better field of view or resolution. There's no way. Yeah, that's too much of a bigger leap. The professional version will just have pro features. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't got the 100. It might have the 120 hertz refresh rate as standard or something. Or it will, you know, and just those little geeky things, the kind of geeky techie things that
OLED display.
people like me. Yeah, OLED. I did think
OLED
of that.
display,
OLED display would be good.
IPD to
Right,
legit
exactly.
IPD.
I can't
let
see
me
that
know.
happening.
Well, let me know if I'm wrong, but I think the question that he got asked was whether there's going to be something like a Quest 3 Pro. And we keep saying Quest 3 and Quest Pro, which is not the same thing.
Quest
because
Pro.
What we can get and what it could be, is it going to be Quest 2 Pro, which is a slightly enhanced version of Quest 2, or is it going to be Quest 3 and Quest 3 Pro, which is like the new model in two different versions, which both
All right.
of them would be better than Quest 2. It's just that they will, you know, have two different target groups. That's what I'm wondering. Is it going to be a totally new generation of Quest that will have two different tiers, or is it just going to be a slightly improved version of Quest 2?
That's what I mentioned in the beginning of the talk about the Quest Pro. So I don't think it's going to be a Quest 3. It wouldn't make sense. If it comes out next year, and it's supposed to come out next year, that's what I believe, then it would be too fast. People just got the Quest 2, and there's not even one game that is just made for the Quest 2. And now put out a Quest 3 with a better SoC that now the developers now have to chase. This one wouldn't make sense. Quest 2 Pro makes so much sense. And this also answers Anthony's question, how to get to that 1 billion people, or how much they want to have in
10
VR.
million,
Yeah. Anyways, like lots of people in VR. So they can come out with that more expensive Quest 2 Pro, and there's lots of people who are going to buy it. Like, I would totally buy it because I want the best, right? I really want the best VR that I can get. And there, finally, they could make money with the hardware, and then they could even sell the Quest 2 for $199. Badoom! And that would finally be that price point where people just buy it without even thinking, right? It's that like impulse buy territory that we're talking here about. So that's why I believe that Quest 2 Pro, $600, $700, like really making money from the hardware, it will allow them to sell the Quest 2, the simple one here with that soft strap, for $199, and they're going to sell so many, and it's going to be even harder for other VR headset manufacturers to compete against Facebook. So it makes so much sense, in my opinion, that they're going to do it this way. And
I was just going to say, what I really like about this idea of having these two different tiers is they're always going to want to have an extremely low cost option, because they want Sally Walmart. They want mainstream America. They want everybody to buy this thing. So they're going to have that low cost option. But the thing is, when they have that $200 or $300 ceiling, and it's like, look, we want to pack as much tech into this thing as humanly possible, but 200 or 300, that's it. We cannot go above that. Now, if you give them this option to have a Pro, we can have a premium version where we're not stuck at this 200, 300 level. And now we can have higher quality plastics. Now we can take the battery and put it in the back and make it more balanced or something. We can add a legit display port thing for direct connection. We could add Wi-Fi 6E or whatever. We could add all these little extra bonuses.
Exactly. So it makes so much sense. So now I totally get it that Zuckerberg said that in that earnings call that is going to happen, and they're working on it right now already. It makes so much sense. So yeah, also the thing is the following. Think about it. Bosworth, he mentioned that in his own Instagram Ask Me Anything. Of course, he has selected the questions before that Instagram Ask Me Anything, right? And he specifically selected this question.
This question could have been designed by Facebook.
Exactly, that was his friend who asked. Of course. So Facebook, they are like actively doing this. They are spreading this rumor to have us now, me, talk about this in this show. And they succeeded again. They are so smart. They made me talk about this here in this show.
Do you feel used now,
I
Sebastian?
feel friggin' used.
But Sebastian,
Yeah,
have you
Sebastian.
changed your mind from before? You were saying that it's very, very unlikely it's going to come out this year. Have you changed your mind about it?
Right. Oh, okay. Now you're asking me something that I did not expect.
Tatiana £10.
Oh,
You
wow,
owe
wow.
his money.
No,
Yeah.
really, wow, Tetiana, that was a good question. So that was a very good question. Wow. Okay, let me think about it for a moment. So they're still selling the Quest 2 like friggin' hotcakes right now. But they're so aggressive, right? They're so friggin' aggressive. They're super aggressive. And if this is just a Quest 2 Pro, yeah, it makes so much sense that it comes out this year in the holiday season in November. Right, Tetiana?
I would be happy about that. And I think that, yeah, you're right. For all these reasons, it's an improvement. It's not a whole new generation. I think it makes more sense now, even though I would be so happy if the new generation came out by the end of this year too. But I do admit it's more realistic now. So we have all the reasons to believe that it's going to happen.
Oh my goodness, it's going to happen. Oh my goodness. Just before the
Get
holiday,
ready.
Tetiana, you must buy another Quest 2 just to make sure.
Yes, definitely, yes.
No,
The
no,
second
yeah, exactly. The second Quest
share
2.
my Facebook accounts there.
Exactly. Right. Anthony, what do you think? Is the Quest 2 Pro going to come out in this year, 2021? Once we're over the pandemic, everyone wants the Quest 2 Pro. Is it going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, if it is just like quality of lifestyle improvements, and it's not going to try to like have some kind of hybrid thing where there would be certain games that could like Rec Room on Quest Pro features eye tracking. Like I think that would kind of be a bad idea. So, but if it's basically quality of life improvements, yeah, it could easily come out this Christmas.
Exactly. What do you think, Steve?
What do I think it's going to come out this year?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The Next Dimension podcast has decided the Quest 2 Pro is going to come out in November
It makes
2021. Oh my goodness. Sell your Quest 2s as long as it's still worth something. This
Yeah,
is going to be
panic sell
worth
that
shit.
shit.
This is
Come
going
on,
to be
panic.
Put it on
this
eBay now.
put it on eBay. This is going to be old news. Yeah, this is old technology.
Worthless.
Sell,
Might as well just
sell.
toss it.
It's
Yeah, but
over.
think about it. Thinking back to this, the questionnaires. Why would he put that question if he didn't want to actively promote it? Like you say,
Of course.
aggressively promote it. What's the point of doing it if it's not happening
You're
this year?
so right, Tetiana. You're so right. And they totally think about every question in that spontaneous Instagram. Ask me anything. Whoa, of course. Everything is perfectly planned out. Yeah, and they succeed. They are so smart. We are talking about it now. Oh my God.
Yeah, they get to look at the website. They get to look at these different websites where it's like Boz winks, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, I practiced that wink for 2 days.
No.
Nailed it."
No, exactly.
Nailed it on the
Exactly.
Sebastian, you aren't logged into your Quest, but Facebook still controls you.
No, totally. Like Bosworth is now watching this live stream with some chips and like, Sebastian, I friggin' got you there. Oh my God, it's
Oh,
hilarious.
just one wink. My God.
It's so hilarious. And they succeed again. Oh my goodness, it's gonna happen. The Quest 2 Pro is going to come out on November 28th or something. It's going to happen, and we have now determined it. And Bosworth, he used me. Oh my God, it's freaking hilarious. It's a great show today. I love it. All right, so Quest 2 Pro confirmed by the Next Dimension podcast. Wow. Looking forward to see what it's like, that thing. But I do believe probably it's going to have OLED screens, probably like 2 OLED screens with very nice real IPD, a better audio, better comfort, everything better. And wow.
Oh man, Seb, if it has all that and a dedicated display port, I am definitely buying one. I
hope they get the speakers from the G2 and the
that
Index.
would
They
be
got to get
amazing.
those same
That should-
exact
yeah.
Oculus speakers.
That should be a standard for all VR headsets moving forward.
Right,
Valve need to just
right.
basically throw them at every other manufacturer and go, here, have some of these.
Right,
for some
right.
money, obviously.
Well, I was planning to buy a second one, but now I have the reason to wait.
No, no, no,
Yes,
no, no,
before
Tatiana.
it.
You have to buy a
Buy
second
now,
one.
now.
You have to buy a second one, like in a
Oh
couple of
my
months,
God.
please. Yeah.
Sometime in August, maybe September, maybe I'll pick up the second Quest.
Right, right. Wow. By the way, we have more than 208 people watching this live. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this live. It's amazing. And yeah, this podcast is really doing very well. All right, cool. Now we're getting to the next topic. And this topic I'm super excited about. And of course, we're talking about the PlayStation VR 2. Woohoo! It has been announced by Sony. And well, we were all thinking that Sony had actually abandoned the PlayStation VR 2 because we heard some news that Mr. Ryan had said, like, okay, next year is not going to be the year of virtual reality. And yeah, everything sounded very bearish, not really, no kind of bullish feeling for VR, for PlayStation, for Sony. But now they have found out, okay, that was a mistake. We should have been more active with telling people about what they want to do. And they did it on their PlayStation blog. They told everyone, yes, the PlayStation VR 2 is coming. And it is going to be better. It's going to be, of course, better than the PlayStation VR 2. It's going to have a higher resolution. It's going to have a larger field of view. This is something that excites me, actually. It's cool. It's going to have dedicated VR controllers, something that for the PSVR actually was using these kind of move controllers, which were made for the PlayStation 3, but repurposed. So that's great. It's going to have these new PlayStation VR 2 controllers. And they said that, well, the main cool technology of the PlayStation 5 controller is going to be put into that VR controller. Now, that truly excites me because I have the PlayStation 5 at home. Yeah, I'm one of the lucky people to have it. And actually, the controller is what really gets me going. It's so cool. It's better than the graphics and stuff because you can feel everything. The force feedback is so cool, and especially the trigger. You can really feel the resistance because there's force feedback built into that controller, and they're bringing that technology to the PlayStation VR 2. So I am very excited about that. Now, one thing that they also mentioned is that it is going to have a cable. They said, like, there's one cable, so it's going to be not as complicated as right now with the PlayStation VR, where, like, connecting it's a bit complicated with lots of different cables that you have to use, right, Tetiana? You've just, plugged in your PlayStation VR. It's not so straightforward, but for the PlayStation VR 2, only one cable. You don't need that additional box anymore. And that at least is good. But it's not a standalone headset, right? It is cabled. So some people might not be excited about that. Right. So what do you think about the PlayStation VR 2 announcement? What do you think about it? Do you think it's a big deal? Please do let me know your opinions.
Oh gosh, I'm just so excited. I will just say, get it out of my chest quickly because I have been the console gamer, specifically the PlayStation gamer, since the very first PlayStation. So that's how I got into gaming. And yeah, I did obviously I also play computer games, but I wasn't always the strongest in like build, and I only recently built my first like decent PC. So the console, just something about this idea of just plug in and you know all the games are going to work is very important. And there is such a huge market for these console games, including VR. And I know it like for a fact, even my brother, who's also a console gamer, he would never buy a computer-based VR set because he doesn't like the idea. Sorry, Steve. He doesn't like the idea of building it. He just,
How dare you?
he's going to be the first person who will buy a PlayStation VR 2 for this reason. And it doesn't even matter for people like that, whether you will be able to connect to SteamVR, whether you will be able to sideload something. It doesn't matter. I need this comfort, and a lot of people need this comfort. And now that Sony is actually reviving its PlayStation VR, it's going to be a huge deal. So I'm just going to get this out of my chest.
Great. Anthony, what do you think about it?
Yeah, so I got a lot of mixed emotions on this one, to be completely honest with you. Okay, so first off, one little thing I'll mention is, does anybody find any kind of slight weirdness here that we got this Apple VR rumor, and now all of a sudden Sony's so much encouraged about VR now has nothing to do with the fact that Apple's getting involved in VR? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there just as a little something something, okay, in the background, because I feel like Sony was a little bit negative in VR. But anyway, when this announcement came out, I mean, first off, I'm excited that Sony is sticking with VR. They're going to continue to make VR products. They're continuing with this effort. That is wonderful. That is great. I celebrate that, absolutely. But Sony had options. They had options going into this. Now, one option is to make it a peripheral to the PlayStation 5, which is exactly what they did with PlayStation VR and PlayStation 4. They made it a peripheral. And that made sense. That made all the sense in the world in October of 2016, because VR was brand new. You don't want to force this stuff on people. So you give them the option of like, yeah, you could add a VR headset and you can slowly work your way into VR. Okay, so that was one option. Another option that they could have went with is they could have went with simplicity. Simplicity is a single box that you walk into Target, you walk into Costco, you walk into any Best Buy or whatever. There's a single box. You buy a single box. You bring it home. It has everything. It doesn't require some other thing. I got to admit, like, I'm not going to lie here. I'm going to be straight up. I don't have a PlayStation 5. There's no PlayStation 5 back here, and I have no interest in buying one.
No,
Why?
you're going to get
because,
one. Yes.
Well, I'm a VR nut, all right? I'm into VR games. That's all I care about is VR games. And so with this particular option here, now I got to go buy like a $400 or $500 box just so I can play the VR stuff. I just want to play the VR stuff. Now you're telling me I got to buy this $400, $500 box, and you're like, but Anthony, that's the way it's always been. Of course it's going to be an accessory to the console. This is the console world. This is the way that it's always been, right? But where's the gun? Who's holding the gun to their head, forcing them to do that? Because I don't see anybody forcing them to do that. Now, people are going to be critical of my take, and they're going to be like, who's this jackass? Get him off the show. He's anti-PSVR. Who the hell is he? Like, get this guy out of here. No. I'm not anti-PSVR too. What I am is I want mass market VR. Okay, I want to play Red Dead Redemption VR. I want to play Grand Theft Auto VR. I want to play Halo VR. Yeah, I want to play Halo VR. Why am I talking about Halo VR? Because if we get mass market VR, if it really, really happens, Microsoft will be forced. They will be dragged kicking and screaming the Xbox division into VR if we have mass market VR. Now, personally, I do not think an expensive accessory to an expensive graphical black box is going to usher in mass market VR. Now, are you going to get some beautiful Sony exclusives because Sony has incredible developers with tremendous talent? You absolutely are, but you're not getting mass market VR. And I want to play Halo, and I want to play Red Dead Redemption, and I want to play Skyrim, but I want to play these games in legit VR, like built from the ground up VR, not an afterthought VR. And so I'm all about mass market. So yeah, my take is definitely not the normal take out there. A lot of people think I'm crazy about this, but you know what? Here's the analogy that I gave. Imagine there's a forest, right? And there's a giant monster in the forest. And this giant monster is just wreaking havoc, just causing massive destruction. Okay, so you're going to be in this little village outside of the forest, and you're going to be like, yeah, let's pretend that giant monster over there doesn't exist, and we're going to be happy in this little village here, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and everything's going to be great in this little village over here. We'll just pretend that monster doesn't exist. That monster is Oculus. That monster is Facebook. They're not stopping. In 2022, when this thing comes out, we probably will get a Quest 3. And during the lifetime of PlayStation VR 2, we're going to get a Quest 4. And in the twilight years of PlayStation VR 2, we're going to get a Quest 5. This problem is not going away. And Sony could have gone in there and tried to slay the dragon. They could have did it. Now, it would have been a bloodbath, and they get caught up in a price war that they can't deal with, and I understand that. Sony wants no business with a price war, and they would have absolutely gotten in a price war if they went head-to-head with the Quest. Not only that, do they have the engineers? I mean, they got great engineers, but Facebook has been all in on VR, buying ridiculous engineers that have been experts in VR for a long time. I don't know that Sony has all those people. I don't know that Sony's inside-out tracking is going to be up to snuff. There's a lot of things out there, right? But I wanted mass market. I want Halo VR. And if I'm a horrible person for wanting to play BioShock VR and Red Dead Redemption VR and all that, then I'm a horrible person. I want mass market VR. And I know the graphic whores hate me because they're like, here's what the graphics whores say. I don't want crappy Quest with all these dumbed down graphics and everything's blurry and there's hardly any polygons and all this stuff.
I'm going to hold my hand up here. I'm one of them.
Yeah. But guess what? All I got to say is Nintendo Switch. What about the Nintendo Switch? Has the Nintendo Switch outsold every Xbox console? It has. Even though the graphics are lo-fi, man. But the Nintendo Switch, incredibly popular. You know why? Because we're in the VR bubble and we're like graphic whores and stuff. But if you want mainstream, if you want widespread adoption, you want 20 million. I want 20 million people playing VR on a single platform in a single walled garden, because that will give us the kind of experiences we really want. PlayStation had 5% penetration on 100 million PlayStation 4s. Are we expecting that penetration to quadruple? So I don't know. I'm still excited.
Can I just say?
By the way, sorry. Before we go on, I just want to say this man is called Anthony, and he has his own channel. It's called VR365, and this is exactly what's going on that channel. So if you have not yet subscribed to VR365, you have to do that now so that you can enjoy this goodness in its pure form on VR365. Thank you, Anthony, for being such an important part of this podcast. And wow, while you were ranting, our view numbers were going up here now. Wow, this is amazing. You have to do this every single time. But now, Steve, what do you want to say?
I was going to say the exact same thing you just said there. Literally, obviously, who would pay to watch? Just listen to Anthony go on these rants. I would literally go to auditorium,
absolutely,
and just pay and just listen to this because it's just so entertaining. It really is.
It's great,
and you should have 50 million subscribers to your channel, seriously, because it's just so entertaining. And,
that would be nice.
you talk sense as well. You absolutely talk sense. It's actually refreshing. I thought everyone was just gonna go all loved up on PlayStation 5 and that, but you've seen it from a different angle, and I think that's really refreshing. Actually,
it's great.
Yeah. So what I actually heard him say. So Anthony, Quest, Oculus, Facebook, whatever you call it, they're in the market for VR. That's all they do. That's their life work. And they put all their resources, all the best of the best working on these things, while Sony is in the market for video games in the flat screen, and VR is almost like an afterthought, oh, look, there's an added bonus of VR. So what you're saying is it's impossible to compete with someone who is in the market for it and putting all the effort to it, while you're just providing a little perk in the view of VR, right? Very simplified. That's how I kind of heard it. That's what I was thinking, that still SteamVR games, there's still many games that are for computer, and they are having the flat screen version, and they have the VR version, and the VR version can still be built from ground up just to accommodate all the gameplay that you can use in VR. But again, I do want to go back to the topic that there are console gamers. There are gamers that love their PlayStations and love their Xboxes, and you mentioned Nintendo, and that's just what they do. And yeah, the hardcore gamers probably are all on computer based, because you can get much higher resolutions and all the qualities, but there's still a very large market for them. So
it's like, I mean, from my point of view, if Seb is right, okay, if you are right, Seb, which you often are, you know your stuff. If PCVR is dead, what am I going to do?
No,
I'm going to have to go and buy a PlayStation, aren't I? Really, for those graphics.
You know what? In today's epic show, I'm going to say something. PCVR is not dead anymore.
Yay!
Yes, because of this Sony confirmation that the PlayStation VR 2 is going to happen. Because this means so much. It means that so many developers can now make games that are super high quality, that are probably not dumped down to Snapdragon 835 mobile chips, because now they know, okay, Sony's going to come out with a PlayStation VR 2 on the PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation 5 can do so much in terms of graphics. It has so much oomph. It has so much power. And of course, they're going to make these beautiful, beautiful games. And these beautiful games, they will also be able to run on the PC VR. So thanks to this confirmation, thanks to the PlayStation VR 2 being announced by Sony, it means that the PC VR is not dead. Woohoo! Steve, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm just about to have my next beer now, and I'm going to drink to that.
Yeah, cheers on that. We have to celebrate today. Really, it's an amazing thing. It's great for everyone. It's even great for Facebook. It's great for my mom.
It's what Tony was saying is so true. Like, I do feel this is a bit of a panic sort of response to the changing industry that is now VR. Like with Quest 2, with I was going to say Sony then, with Apple's response. Like, everybody is like, their ears are prickling. They're like, this is getting bigger and bigger. We need to get we need to get a slice of this pie, and we need to get something out. We need to get an announcement out there. Not, why is it? I want to ask, because I don't know enough about this, but is it going to be wireless VR? Because if it isn't, I feel that is definitely proof that it's afterthought. I know it's a console, but I still feel it should be wireless, because then you can just stream it from your console.
Like from that announcement, it doesn't seem to be wireless. It seems to be there's like one single cord.
That's not good enough. That's not good enough.
But you know what?
It's a shame, and it's not. And it's not coming out this year, so I don't even know if it's coming out next year. From the vague description of what they're offering, it sounds like it could be even the beginning of 2023. And until then, I mean, in 2023, to have this new amazing VR set that's still wired could be outdated. So I don't really know what they think about it. I don't know if they will have a wireless option. Maybe they will come up with something until then.
I think that's going to happen. Anthony, sorry. I think
go ahead.
I think that's going to happen. So first of all, it says like, okay, it has one cord for easy setup and stuff. So yeah, why not? It's okay. I think, in my opinion, it's okay first. But I do think it most probably is going to have some kind of wireless add-on, because first of all, they need to make this cheap, right? They cannot directly put everything into it. Like this gets its content from the PlayStation 5. So if they directly would put in the wireless, it would be more expensive, because they have to put in the battery, right? They have to put in the wireless chips. So it will be way more expensive than going for the cable. And they cannot make it too expensive, because Facebook,
they're
right?
forcing you to buy a PlayStation 5. No.
Yeah, no, wait. Everybody's gonna have a PlayStation 5 at that point, like the real hardcore gamers. So the thing is, like, they're going to make this as cheap as possible, the PlayStation VR 2, and if it directly had wireless, they couldn't make it. So they're saving some hundreds of dollars, because they know they will compete with $199 Quest 2 at that point in time. So they're very well aware of against who they are fighting here. So that's why probably it's going to have cable only at the very beginning. But I do believe there should be, and there will be, some kind of wireless option for all the people who say, no, I can't play with the cable anymore. anymore. Give me that damn wireless thing. So probably you're going to have to pay another $199. You're going to get that battery and that wireless.
So now you're talking about an accessory on top of another accessory.
Yeah, why not?
Like,
Why
I
not?
don't know, man.
But
That's like-
Anthony,
that's like putting.
I want to ask you. So are you hoping for that Sony PlayStation VR Quest complete standalone headset?
Am I hoping for that?
Yeah,
Not
right.
anymore, because the dream has been dashed, right?
But this is
I wanted them to go
this is what you hope for. This is what you want from Sony.
Well, no. What I wanted from Sony was, I was at GDC with you. Remember?
I can
Remember
remember.
we were at GDC.
It was happy
Okay,
times.
so the day before we did our little episode in front of that glass cube. Remember that glass cube where people were trying the Quest, the very first Quest?
Yeah, I can remember.
The day before, I was standing in line, and Shuhei Yoshida of Sony was right in front of me, and we were standing in line to wait to demo the Quest. And I wanted to tap him on the shoulder and say, Shuhei, that's the future, man. That's the future. Sony, you guys got to know that that's the future. It is the future. I'm going to go right back to it. I'm thinking of families. I'm thinking of a family that walks into a Target. They're going to buy a Christmas gift. Now and their kids are like, I want VR. I want VR. And they're going to be like, oh, we're going to buy this PlayStation VR 2. It's $399.99, and oh, we got to buy the PlayStation 5 too. How much is? Oh, it's $1,100 with tax. Okay, never mind. Oh, there's an Oculus. There's the Quest 3. The Quest 3, and it's in one box. And
Quest
how
2
much?
Pro.
Oh, it's $299. Great.
Yeah, I get it.
One
I
good
get
thing
it.
though. One good thing I know a lot of in fact, most of my friends are console gamers. I'm the weirdo PC guy who spends half his time trying to, get a game to work. But I do feel that this is just only good news for VR in general, because obviously, it's more of a catalyst, isn't it? We've already got the Quest 2, and that is really
You're living the
bringing,
future.
Freudian slip.
that's really bringing it to, that has made a Herculean difference to the popularity of VR. We know that, and lockdowns helped as well, of course. But then suddenly, PlayStation 5 is that going to be the biggest console, of all of them? Is it? I don't know. I'm not a console guy.
Yeah, it is. It's very
When
good.
people are going to be more aware of VR, some people out there probably don't even know what VR is, and then they're going to see this. They're going to see their friends got it or something, and then it's going to just spark that enthusiasm, that interest. That guys, that first time in VR. That's it. Your life's changed forever, and that's all it's going to take. And it might mean they might end up going the Oculus route. It might not mean everyone's going to go PlayStation, but either way, this is a massive shift in the industry for VR, and especially now, I think. So that's probably my only good point about it for me that I'm excited about.
I also think so. I think the PlayStation 5 is going to go mainstream, like really mainstream, as soon as the device is readily available, right? People are paying like so much money right now on eBay to get the PlayStation 5 because it's not readily available, right? But at one point it will be, and they're going to sell millions of PlayStation 5s. It's going to win the console war again, right? Because I don't know anybody who really actually needs an Xbox Series X. So millions of people are going to have the PlayStation 5 in their homes already, Anthony. It's there. It's
and
standing
we'll
there.
get 5% of them, and that's going to be so
No,
amazing.
probably who knows?
It did
Probably
it last
who
time.
knows?
It made
Probably
it
probably
mainstream
more.
last time.
Probably more, because this is going to be so much better than the PlayStation VR 1. It's the PlayStation VR 1. Even now, like nearly 5 years after the inception of the PlayStation VR 1, I can still enjoy it, and that's crazy. It's really an amazing machine. Still, even now with that resolution, which is not perfect anymore, I can still enjoy the PlayStation VR 1 because it was a very well-designed headset. It's very comfortable. It has OLED screens, RGB stripe matrix, and they did lots of things incredibly right. Now the PlayStation VR 2, they have learned so many things. They know so many things, and I'm telling you, it is going to blow you away. It's going to make the Quest 2 look like friggin' shit. Sorry, Bosworth, if you're still watching this. So this is going to be unbelievable.
I hope it
The
does.
PlayStation VR 2 is going to blow our minds. It's the high-end VR that we've been waiting for. So the controllers, they're going to have this forced feedback, and the tracking is going to be way better than the PlayStation VR 1. Probably we're still going to get OLED displays. And the great thing, just like the Quest, everything is going to be in one kind of system, contained, right? Not like PSVR, where there's so many different variables, and there's people who have the Reverb G2 and they hope it's going to be amazing, but it's not running because they have the X570 main board. This shit is not going to happen. And for Sony, I know that they love gaming. Everything is about gaming. And I'm extremely excited about it. I'm so excited about this headset. And let me tell you why exactly I'm so excited about Sony keeping on doing this thing. Because let's compare the business model between Sony and Facebook. I love Sony's business model. It is about gaming. They are all about gaming. It's pure gaming. Their business model is, let's make amazing hardware, and then for this hardware, let's make amazing games. It's all about games. And that is what I'm excited about. For Facebook, unfortunately, I have to tell everyone out there again, it's not about gaming. Facebook's business model is advertising. Facebook's business model is getting to know you as good as possible. And VR is an amazing means to know where you're looking at, to know how tall you are, to know every single detail about you. You are the product. Their product is not gaming. So that's why I'm not excited about Facebook. I must be honest, you know that, right? I love the Quest 2. It's a great headset. But I don't love Facebook. I loved Oculus. I loved Oculus, really. But I don't love Facebook. I don't love that they're forcing you to log in with your Facebook account. And the reason that they do that is because they want your data. They want to know what you're looking at, who are your friends, how tall you are, all these things. So I'm so happy that Sony is back in the game, that there is going to be another big player that can actually compete against this privacy thing here, the Quest and the Quest 3 and everything that's going to come out, and that people will simply buy because it's cheap, right? So this is like a huge difference. It is gaming, pure gaming, the love of gaming against the business model of getting to know you, getting to know where you're looking at, getting to know you perfectly in order to serve you ads. This is what Facebook is all about. I'm sorry, this is the fact.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
It's basically Tony versus Seb. I've got a front row seat here. I'm loving these rants. Absolutely loving it. I can see both sides of the coin here, and I'm kind of like I'm not. I can just sit on the fence and listen to both opinions here because I'm not a console guy. So it's interesting hearing these two different views. You know.
Yeah,
You know what?
fair
So,
question.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to add just my, set 5 cents into the business model of the topic, because I completely agree with that. Business model is important to evaluate what console could be right for you, or what VR set you want to spend your money on. When Facebook does belong to the market of data. So that's what they care about, the collecting of the data. And even when you use just their services, it's not free, and we all know it. Google is in the market of the data. They're collecting it. You can use these services for free, but it's not really free because it's all about you. It's all about getting to know you, right? So with Sony being so focused on gaming, I always give an example also with Apple and why they all talk about the data protection with Apple, because they're not in the market of the data. And that's pretty much what matters here, right? The Sony being so focused on gaming, you might be trusting them more as a choice for a gaming VR gaming device, because you're not being pulled with the strings by selling with them getting your data and whatnot. So I just wanted to add that, because I think it's super important to mention these business models like you did, Sebastian.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I also
Okay,
can
wait.
rant. Like we both can rant. Wow, I love this podcast. And by the way, if you guys out there love this podcast, do leave the 5-star review in your favorite podcasting application and give this a thumbs up, because I don't think that you're getting these kind of discussions anywhere else. This is
Definitely
the
not.
Next Dimension podcast.
Can I say one other thing about PlayStation VR 2? So,
Of course.
Okay, so I have my, I wanted them to make a standalone. Okay, so I can take that and push it off over there and be like, okay, that dream's dead. It's PSVR 2. Let's come back to reality. So now that it's PSVR 2 and this is what's going to happen, one thing that we need to consider, and this could be like almost an entire another show all into itself, but it's like, this is an accessory that's coming to PlayStation 5, so it must live along with the PlayStation 5. And one of the downsides of that is that it must live for this longer extended period of time. They're not going to have like PSVR
Right, that's
2
true.
and then
That's
PSVR 2 Plus. So
PS5
it's got to
Pro.
survive.
You're right.
It's got to survive for like 4 years, right? So Sony has to make incredibly difficult decisions for this headset because it has to stay relevant for all those years. And they have to think about it. Do we have eye tracking? What is the field of view? What's the inside out tracking like? Now, one other little complaint I have going back to the wired thing is, you know how like we have these different headsets that are using LiDAR and they're going to be scanning your room, and we've got couch mode and Guardian. Well, this headset doesn't need any of that. Why? Because it's got a wire. You're not walking you're not playing VR throughout your house. That's one of the downsides of like actually having a wire and being tethered. There's no need to think about that. But Sony does have a lot of decisions to make in regards to resolution, in regards to FOV, in regards to eye tracking, foveated rendering, all these different, things, and they only get this one chance to do it right. Do you guys like here's a question for Steve. Do you feel like could they accidentally could they make a decision where it's like, that just ruined it for me, because now they're stuck with that. They're never going to have this extra FOV, or they're never going to have eye tracking because they decided not to include it or whatever. Like, are there any worries that you have with like this headset that's going to be locked in time?
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good point, because you see the way VR headsets are moving forward so fast now. Like, it's got to have facial recognition. It's got to have biometrics. It has to have at least a substantial field of view, OLED screen. Are they seriously going to put all that into this sort of afterthought? Because it is an afterthought. Why wasn't it, when it was first announced, PlayStation 5 VR ready console? Why did they not say that when it was first released? They didn't even probably had that in mind, or maybe they had an inkling. They were just looking at what everyone else was doing. And I do feel now, I don't think it's going to be so next gen is what you hope. I hope it is. I really do. But it doesn't feel like that's the way it's going for me personally. And I do feel, even in say a year's time, it's going to be like PlayStation 1 again, isn't it? Like, it's just going to feel so outdated unless they, start developing more incremental updates, like the sort of Facebook machine, and that is not their business model, as you quite rightly say, Seb, and I can't see that happening either. So it will be great for a while, but I think it will be a little bit like just a peak that will just fall very quickly once we get a Quest 3, or even maybe an Index 2 or something like that. I totally agree.
That's a sad thought. That's really disappointing to think about that. Yeah, you're so excited about it, but it's not going to be updated nearly as often as other famous brands. But then thinking about it, you said biometrics and facial recognition. As I think we discussed, these things, to be able to see someone's face, to see what their facial expressions are, they're important when you're communicating with someone. You're in a meeting or something, and you're trying to, have this nonverbal communication with them. Is PlayStation really going to be in the market for that, or are they, when you're gaming and you're replaying games, is it going to be important for them to have facial recognition and biometrics?
Right. That is really a good question, and I really also think that PlayStation and Sony, they have to like launch this device as a super amazing device, because it has to live for 5 years. for example, right? Because they do not update it. So probably it is going to have this kind of technologies already, like facial tracking, because they do want to have your emotions in a VR game. I don't know yet, no idea. But just think about it. You have two options, and both options, they have facial tracking. One is from Sony and one is from Facebook. Which one are you going to pick? I mean, there's
Facebook.
Because it's cheaper, right? No, there's
Which
really,
one's going to work better?
yeah,
Facebook.
but it's really,
Oculus.
but even now, there's this big backlash for Facebook, right? Thinking about, okay, you have to log in with Facebook, but then once they have eye tracking and facial tracking, these privacy concerns are even going to be bigger. And I'm just so grateful again that Sony is going to keep on doing this. They're going to support virtual reality, and therefore I think this news that Sony confirmed the PlayStation VR 2 is one of the biggest news in a long time. So
Either way,
I'm really
it's
happy
great
as
for
you
VR.
know. It's great for VR.
Yeah, it's it's a huge announcement, and it's going to be great for the industry, whatever side of the fence you sit on, I think.
Absolutely right. So also, even it is good for Facebook. Really, absolutely. It's good for Facebook because competition is always good. Now, if there was no competition at all, they could simply do whatever they want. Like right now, right? They did this kind of thing with the forced Facebook login. And yeah, some people were a bit unhappy, like MRTV. I did some videos about it, right? But then nobody cared. But if there is a good option, another option where you don't have to do these kind of things, where you don't have to log in with your social account, well, people are going to stick to that, right? People are going to go for the option where you don't have to log in with a social account. And then Facebook, they will see that and they will really think about their ways. They would probably not force you to use Facebook. They will simply make a service that is so good that you voluntarily want to add your Facebook account, right? Like make Horizon so good that you want to connect your Facebook account instead of forcing you to it. And that's what we're missing right now. We're missing that competition that will tell Facebook what is the right thing to do. And I'm so glad. I'm so incredibly glad that Sony is going to step up and going to give us this option also for PSVR, that developers are inclined to make higher graphics, better looking games. And yeah, it is great for VR. It's amazing. And Paradise Decay just said he wants a rant now, Tetiana versus Steve.
Oh man, honestly, I've been really enjoying hearing you guys talk about it. But for me personally, I'm not really much of a console person. In fact, I'd never even. Well, my first console is the Quest 2. That is literally my first ever console. I'm quite proud that I'm actually loving it as well. So really, I guess I've expressed everything I need to say about it really. But I think overall, I'm less excited about it than I would be. Say a Quest 3, and that's really weird for me to say that actually, but I just feel like there's just so many limitations. It's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I don't feel it. I think it's a bit of an afterthought. I do feel that, I don't know, it's just a response to the industry, and it will, as Anthony said, in even a year, 2 years down the road, it's going to seem a little bit old-fashioned because of the way VR is moving so fast.
But the general market, they're very non-demanding. There are still people buying PlayStation VR. I just bought PlayStation VR. There are many people who are just now discovering it, and without any previous experience of virtual reality, this is still mind-blowing. And not everyone is a hardcore PC gamer, and for many of the general public who have had no experience with VR whatsoever, what they will see in PlayStation VR 2 will be still mind-blowing to them for years and years, because it's still going to be amazing. And yes, there will be other VR sets that will be stepping up with the facial recognition, biometrics, and all of these things that can be improved year after year after year, which may remain static for PS2. But it's going to be extremely appealing for the general audience who will still be in the stages of discovery, like we see with PSVR 1. That's so downgraded compared to Quest 1, Quest 2.
And that's what you're saying there is exactly what you'll be saying about PlayStation 5 in another year's time from now, or maybe 2
I
years?
don't know.
You'll be like, oh no, we know. Well, we've got this now. We've got facial recognition. We've got roomscape. Where I can walk from one end of the house to the other with my Quest 3,
Okay,
and I've got this dedicated.
I disagree. But I disagree because PlayStation VR 1 was objectively inferior. People who try it for the first time, they can't tell the difference in quality just by looking at the screen in the VR and looking at the TV screen saying, why is the quality so much worse? It's not the same. It's extremely pixelated. It's awesome that I'm in VR, but the image is not as good. So it was objective. You didn't even have to have a previous experience in the VR to tell the difference. But what we will see with the next generation will not be that. It will be amazing.
I think even with PlayStation 5, you're actually locked in more than you are with a Quest, because with a Quest you can play wirelessly your SteamVR library, which is just absolutely massive. You can play your Oculus content, and there's so much, and obviously your Quest games as well. So you've got 3 different platforms there of absolutely just tons and tons of games. I wouldn't want to be locked in just to the PlayStation sort of not ethos. What's the word?
Walled garden.
Yeah. I just
But it's an issue with.
The German has to tell you how to say English words. How is that possible?
It's the beer.
Yeah.
But it's not just the VR issue, right? You're always locked in with any console you have. You can't just
but I want
plug
variety.
into Steam but there are so many more casual gamers than hardcore gamers for whom the library that PlayStation has is more than enough for them. Like, it's so much for someone who doesn't play, for hours and hours every day, but just casual on the weekends after work. They are still buying. They're still spending the same money. They still will spend the 600 or however much the PlayStation 5 costs. They will still pay it. So it's the same value for them as a consumer. They just have totally different expectations. And I think PSVR 4 will be targeting. PSVR 2 will be targeting those people.
I think, like Tony said, if you've already got a PlayStation 5 because you're a massive fan of it, and then you've had this announcement, fantastic. Like Seb, obviously you're a big console fan anyway. But for me, seriously, I've got to go and buy a PlayStation 5 and then buy an extra VR headset.
Yes.
Yes.
Steve,
here's the thing.
I think you're going to buy a PlayStation 5. I'm telling you, I'm going to review that. I'm going to review that PSVR 2, and it's like, wow, it's really. No, I'm going to make you watch it, and then probably I believe so. It has this wider FOV, right? It has the beautiful OLED screens. It has this high resolution. It has these kind of controllers with force feedback. The tracking will be great, I'm sure.
It's wired.
Yeah,
it's their first attempt. It's their very first attempt at Inside Out. See, here's
they
the thing.
They will hit it out of the ballpark, Anthony. Of course they will.
First at bat.
They are Sony. Look at 2016.
So.
2016. They came out with the PSVR, and I can still use it now without feeling like strange. They will hit it out of the ballpark. If there's one company that I trust to hit it out of the ballpark, it's them. 2016. They were one of the first VR headsets, and in terms of comfort, is there any other headset?
Yeah.
Okay, probably the G2, but it's really comfort. They can do it. They are good. They will make it happen, and they learned so much.
Their lenses are better than anybody. Really.
Exactly. Even now, like 5 years later, they're going to hit it out of the friggin' ballpark, and I'm excited about it. I'm so excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah. The tracking. I don't know, because
there's quite a few people in the comments said once you've played a game, wirelessly, you can't go back, and they're so right. My beaming face when you asked me for the first time, what do I think about the Quest 2? And my first thing was, oh my God, wireless gaming, it's just amazing. I can't go back now.
Yeah, but you're still playing with your G2 or not? It is also still wired.
Yeah, but that's flight simming. I just sit there and just pretend to be in a plane for hours. That's easy. But for gaming.
But we don't know yet. We don't know yet. Probably there is going to be like a wireless option. We don't know yet, right? It's like speculation. We don't know. But I just
complain louder about it so that Sony hears us.
Right? They know that. They know that. They are also smart. They are just as smart as Facebook is. So they know that people want it. But honestly speaking, I totally can understand I can totally understand Sony that there's going to be an accessory. Just to get back to Anthony's point, that they're not going to bring out like another device which is standalone. I can totally get it, because for them, still, like the 2D thing, the PlayStation 5 is their business, and they're selling millions, way more than Quest 2 and Quest 2 Pro. Millions. Lots of millions, like lots of millions, a lot. And then it just makes sense to make that PlayStation 5 device even better by giving it this accessory. Like for me, for example, I would never think about getting an Xbox Series X. Why? Because it doesn't have VR. That is truly my reason why I would not get an Xbox Series X. It doesn't make sense for me. Even I do like Gears of War, right? But I have a high spec PC where I can also play it. I have really no reason to get an Xbox Series X. But for PlayStation 5, by telling people, okay, you know what, we're going to have high quality virtual reality, which is going to blow your mind, people are going to pick it up. So the more than 200 people who are watching this right now, our live stream here, they are probably going to pick up the PlayStation 5 now, because they know, hey, this is also going to have amazing virtual reality. So I think it makes all sense. I agree, and Anthony, would be amazing if there was a complete standalone headset, but it wouldn't make sense for Sony right now. But saying that there's going to be this accessory, which is going to be amazing, which is going to blow our minds, makes so much sense for their business model, for the PlayStation 5. And I'm so sure every single person, all the people who are watching this live right now, including us here, us four, we're all going to have the PlayStation 5. And also you, Anthony and Steve, both of you are going to have the PlayStation 5, and you're going to love the freaking shit out of it. And in Next Dimension episode number, let's say 50, you're going to say, Sebastian, you were so right.
Maybe if it's Uncharted VR or something,
Yeah, it could
it's going
be.
to take an incredible game to get me there. Incredible. Because I'm going to have to withdraw like $900 cash. And you're telling me that like in October of 2022, when I withdraw this $900 of cash so I can buy this PS5, because I have to get it to be able to use the headset, even though I don't want the PS5, but I have to do it. So $900, right? But that $900 could have went towards like a GTX 3090. It could have went towards like an advanced Samsung PSVR headset. See, there's other things in this world. That's why we all, like, you guys just, I mean, there's people out there that just automatically buy a PS5. I wish I was rolling like that. I wish I had the money like that to just automatically buy a PS5. I don't have that money. So for me, it's decisions. All of these things are decisions, and I got to weigh these decisions very importantly. And it's possible that Farpoint 2 and Astrobot 2 and some future Resident Evil game and a new incredible Wipeout, and it's going to be so amazing, and the controllers are freaking amazeballs with unbelievable haptics, and Sony perfectly nails the inside-out tracking on their very first attempt, which we've never seen any company perfectly nail it on their first attempt other than Facebook.
Okay, Sony, if you're watching this, Anthony needs a PlayStation 5.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah, I get you.
But
I get
I'm
you,
excited.
Anthony.
I'm excited. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. Yay!
No, I get you, Anthony. I totally get you. So it does make sense, of course. It is not as accessible as the Quest 2 and 3. It makes sense. You totally have an amazing point here. Just like for Sony right now, it makes also sense like how they're playing it. They're going to sell so many of the PlayStation 5s, and they are hopefully going to have so much amazing content for that PlayStation 5 and for the PSVR 2 that even you might consider like trying to get that PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation VR 2. That's what I truly believe. I truly believe this is going to blow our minds, and I truly believe this is going to be high quality VR. It's going to be better than the Quest 2 and the Quest 2 Pro. But we will see that. We will see that once it comes out. And I still have the feeling that you are all going to get it.
Really, Seb? Honestly,
Yeah.
I definitely won't be. I mean, it's like, most
Yeah,
people
I
who
will.
buy a PlayStation
Oh,
5.
definitely. You said definitely. Oh, we have it all here on video now. I'm going to show this video.
Steve's a hard, like Steve, I might be convinced to do it. Like I might have to eat crow. I don't know if Steve's gonna do it. Like, is there gonna be a special like Microsoft Flight Simulator on PSVR too?
Oh,
Literally,
no.
that is the
would-
only
that would
way.
probably could make it.
I mean, I've
Nah.
just bought a really, really, really stupidly expensive computer, so there's no way I'm going to buy PlayStation as well. But even without that, like most people, everybody actually who's bought a PlayStation 5, even you, Seb, when you bought a PlayStation 5, you didn't do it because of VR.
No, I did. I did buy it.
He did it because
No,
he's
no.
a YouTuber. No?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
So
Exactly.
probably half of the people, maybe even a quarter of the people that have bought a PlayStation 5 go, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I might try it. And, then maybe they might, get excited about it. In fact, they probably will if it's going to be as amazing as you think it's going to be.
I hope
But
so.
either way, it is an afterthought. It definitely is. Otherwise, they would have announced it when PlayStation 5.
Well, they could have been worried about killing off PSVR 1 cells like 2 years early. They could have been worried about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So wow, it's so exciting. But at least that's what we all can agree on. This is good for virtual reality.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This
definitely.
is. I mean,
Absolutely.
like everyone can agree to this. This is great for us. This is great for our biggest hobby, right? It's amazing that there's going to be another competitor, a competitor that is actually like as strong as Sony, and it's going to be great for all of us, for the whole market, right? To have this kind of variety, that there's not going to be a monopoly, right? And that if you are not fan of that Facebook model, right, of this kind of like you are the product and it's all about getting to know you and ads and getting to know you better and privacy concerns. If you're not into that, well, you have another option, and that is so good and also is great for Sony. Oh my goodness, this is good, and I'm really happy about it. And now we're already 2 hours and 30 minutes in. Oh my goodness, and it felt like that, and I think it is a good
I
time.
say we go
now.
2 more, guys. 2 more
We
hours.
could do it. We could do
Good
it.
to be here.
Marathon.
Right, marathon. We could do it for sure, but people probably will get a bit tired of us. But I'm so happy that so many people are watching this. And again, I would like to say thank you to everyone who's watching this live. So many people, over 200 people. That is definitely like amazing for such a young podcast like the Next Dimension podcast. We're killing it here. And yeah, thanks Steve and Tetiana and Anthony. And also Gary Reckoner for like doing this every week. It's amazing, and I'm so happy to do this podcast with you guys. Yeah, all right. So for all of you who enjoy this podcast, please give it a thumbs up right now. Now that you're still live, give it a thumbs up and do make noise for the algorithm. Do leave a comment down in the comment section later when this podcast is on the MRTV YouTube channel, so that more people can find it. It does make a difference if you do leave your comment. So do leave your comment. What do you think? Are you happy about the PlayStation VR 2? Do you think this is going to happen? I mean, do you think are you going to buy it? Or what about the Quest 2 Pro? Is that a thing? And I'm so happy that I talk about this now, because that reminds me of our poll. Not forgetting it this time.
Yeah.
So now there were so many people watching this. It's time to go to the polls. We have 2 questions today. And those 2 questions are, the first question is, do you believe Facebook will come out with a Quest 2 Pro instead of a Quest 3? Yes? No? I don't care about what they do. Please do leave your poll now. Please go to the polls now. Do leave your vote right now. The link is down in the description of this video, and you still have like 1 or 2 minutes to tell us, to join the discussion here, to make your voice count. So go there right now. What do you think? Do you believe Facebook will come out with a Quest 2 Pro instead of a Quest 3? Please say yes, no, or please say I don't care about what they do. The second question here is the following. Will you get the PSVR 2? And the options are yes, shut up and take my money.
My 900. No.
Number 2, nope, not a PlayStation person. This is Steve.
Sorry,
And-
I'm sniggering.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, right. And the third option, it depends on the specs. So for all of you who really want to see the specs
That's
first,
that's a good point. If the specs are like
Yeah, yeah.
mind blowing, then maybe there's a chance.
probably that might be you. So please now go to the polls and do join the discussion. That is what this podcast is about. It's not only about us ranting about stuff, it's also about you telling us what you think. So, do you believe Facebook will come up with a Quest 2 instead of the Quest 3? And also, please do let us know, are you going to get the PSVR 2? Yes, shut up and take my money. Nope, not a PlayStation person. It depends on the specs. So before we go into the results, I do want to ask the three of you, do you believe Facebook will come up with a Quest 2 Pro instead of the Quest 3? Steve.
Yes, definitely. I reckon it might even be out this year, possibly.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense and it's going to be focused upon the geeky, techie stuff, all the things that most gamers, most Quest users might not actually be bothered about. Maybe like the manual IPD adjustment, possibly. I don't think the field of view is going to be any different, but maybe something that like a display port would be amazing. Maybe not, but that would be nice for me personally. It's just those little updates, just those little incremental things that will entice someone who's a real fanatic about VR and wants those extra features. Maybe like a better head strap, with audio, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do think that might be out this year.
Okay, Tetiana, what do you think? Do you believe Facebook will come out with a Quest 2 Pro instead of Quest 3?
I kind of want to believe that it's going to be Quest 3 and Quest 3 Pro, but they can title it whatever they want. But what it will be in reality is an improved version, and then a budget version of the improved version. But I want both of them to be better than VR2. Than Quest 2. That's what I think. I don't think that there will be. For some reason, I have this feeling that there's going to be 2 announcements. That just one. We will see. But
Double
Okay.
I have a
FOMO,
feeling
double
like that.
FOMO, right?
Let's see. Anthony, what do you think? Quest 2 Pro instead of Quest 3? Yes or no?
Yeah, Bosworth, man, he practiced that wink all week.
Yeah, right.
And I really
Right.
believe, it's coming. It's coming this November, guys.
Yeah, I also think so. I think Quest 2 Pro is going to happen. It's going to happen in this November. Totally agreed. Then the other question, will you get a PSVR 2? Steve, yes, shut up and take my money. 2, nope, not a PlayStation person. Number 3, it depends on the specs.
No, unless it's a new flight sim that's amazing and it's got like everything that I would ever imagine. It's got smell-o-vision. If it's got that, then I will buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, okay, we have it all on video now. I'm going to play it back to you, like whenever you talk about the PlayStation 5, like
It's not going to happen. It's not
Okay,
going to happen.
yeah, we'll see. And Tetiana, are you going to get the PlayStation VR 2? Yes? Nope? Depends on the specs.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I actually don't think it was going to work with PlayStation 4, so I will have to buy PlayStation 5 as well. But yes,
Okay.
I'm going to wait for the craziness to cool down, and I will just go to the store and pick up PlayStation 5 without the crazy overprices and the line. So it's going to happen. I'm just going to stay put.
Okay. Anthony, are you going to get the PlayStation VR 2? Yes? Nope? Depends on the specs.
No, my blood bleeds green. I'm all Xbox all the time. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's gonna take a Herculean effort to get me to withdraw $900 and drop it on that. But it's possible. Anything's possible.
Okay. I got it. I think you're going to do it. Yeah. Will I get the PlayStation VR 2? Let me think. Yeah, obviously. Of course, I'm going to get it. And of course, I'm going to. Really, I'm going to. Yeah, I like to surprise people. So MRTV is going to get the PlayStation VR 2. Yes. Okay. So now let's have a look at what you said. So let me stop the count now, and let's look at the first result here. Wait a moment. Let me check this out, how to make it happen. So, okay, now we should be here. No. Why can I not see the results, Wait a moment. Very soon it's going to happen, hopefully. Yes, here it is. So let me share this with you now. Do you believe Facebook will come out with a Quest 2 Pro instead of a Quest 3? Yes, 32%, 32.7%. No, 30.6%. And I don't care about what they do, 36.7%. Wow, the majority doesn't care about what they do. Well, that probably would have been different on other podcasts about the topics. But on this podcast, it says most of you don't care. Second majority, yes, you do think it's going to happen, and 30% still say no. And it's still changing a bit here. Okay, interesting, very interesting. So let's now go to the second.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Don't care? Does it mean that I'm not going to buy it?
No, they don't care about. They would not.
They
They
just hate
would not.
Facebook. Period.
Yeah, they would.
I'm
They
a
don't like.
hater. It should say that.
No.
I'm a
Hey,
hater.
I'm not a hater, but I also understand what they're feeling about. It's about privacy, and they don't like the business model. So yeah, they're not haters. I'm not a hater. So let's come to the next poll. And the next poll: will you get the PlayStation VR 2? So let's go to the result here. And we have...
This will be interesting, actually.
Yes, shut up and take my money. 22 people, actually, not so many people joined. This is not percentage, this is people. 22 people said, yes, shut up and take my money. 10 people said, nope, not a PlayStation person. And 17 people said, it depends on the spec. So, yeah. Yep, lots of people say they're going to get it. And I forgot to click on the percentage in the poll. But anyways, interesting to see that. Wow, what an amazing episode. What a great episode of the Next Dimension podcast. Really, really cool. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Hope you did too. So that's the end of the episode. Very long, 2 hours and 40 minutes. But we did have lots of things to talk about, right? So at the end of the podcast, again, I would ask you, if you enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up. Do leave a comment for the algorithm. And also, if you have an iPad or an iPhone, do open the podcast app, find the Next Dimension podcast, and do leave a review. A 5-star review would be amazing. And that's everything that we got for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we're looking forward to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Now, that was exciting. How did you feel about this episode?
It's funny, because I thought about the topics, I thought I've got nothing to say, but clearly I had stuff to say. Really, I guess it's VR, isn't it? Anything VR related, we're just going to get quite hot on how our opinions on it. And really interesting. Really enjoyed it. I can't believe it's been this long though. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Very cool.
Once again, I'm being constantly reminded that.
Oh, now your connection is breaking up, Tetiana.
Texas is frozen again.
That's it.
Texas is frozen.
Yeah.
But you know what? The great thing is, this totally didn't happen during the. This totally didn't happen during the podcast. Tetiana, you're gone.
You've morphed into the.
Amazing source.
That's great.
Wow! This is Texas right now. Wow.
I hope this is not
She
going
was
to.
taken
When
over
I
by.
actually get the cloud running, I hope that's what it'll be like on my computer, my internet, when I'm trying to
Me
fly.
too.
The
Me
Borg.
too.
The Borg got her.
Yeah. It really felt like, wow, the Borg have taken over.
It'll be mean it.
But really good that this didn't happen during the show. So it was just like a
Good timing.
perfect timing for Texas to freeze up again.
I'm still gone.
Now you're back, but just now you were gone.
Hello.
Yes. But it's Okay, we hear you a
Going
bit.
on?
Yeah. She's using the Quest 2 battery, says Kofaciano. Yeah, right. Cool. Really cool. That was an amazing episode. Wow. I loved the rants. Yeah. Anthony was Ranthony again, and I
Tell you
was
what, I would
at it
pay
again.
for those rants. I would go to an auditorium and I would just sit there with my popcorn. I love it. It's great. Just
Yeah.
both your opinions are actually really interesting to hear because I wasn't sure. I'm on the fence still here, so it was interesting to hear what you guys had to say on it.
Right, right.
There's millions of angles to cover. Like we
Yeah.
barely scratched the surface. Like there's so many other things you could talk about from the PSVR 2 than just, I mean, there's all kinds of different angles and Quest Pro as well.
Yeah, yeah, really, exactly. Wow, this is exciting. And yeah, VR is not dead, not at all. It's thriving, and I'm so happy. I mean, I made my point, right? That I'm so happy about this for PC VR and for the whole VR industry, to give Facebook some competition, that there's something to look forward to, right? That you don't have to suck up to Facebook all the time to be a successful YouTuber is amazing. It's pretty, it's amazing. So it's really good. And yeah,
I tell you what, Seb, actually, when this lockdown finally finishes, I would when you get the PlayStation VR, I would love to try it.
oh yeah.
Maybe I can try it one day.
Oh, I
and
totally
then-
invite you. Please come over to good
Then I
old
will
Germany. We're going to have a good German beers and play some PlayStation VR too.
Sounds great. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah,
This
right.
is back. Oh, hello.
Hello there. Yeah.
Wasn't sure if you're still there. Hi.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Oh yeah, I apologize for that, but I heard what you said. It's good that it didn't happen during the main podcast, so that's a good thing.
Oh,
Exactly.
it's no big deal. We were just joking around.
Yeah, right. But now
Yeah.
you're Anthony. Yeah,
All
on
my
like
stuff.
on I have these kind of name tags, and now it says like Tetiana is Anthony,
Oh, I
and
see. I
and
remember.
Anthony is Tetiana now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you
Freaky
look so
Friday.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So funny.
well,
Should make a
if
movie
I
about
if
it.
I may say one last thing, since this is our after show, is that once again I'm being like not convinced but assured that speculating can be so much fun and so
It
informative
is.
when
Exactly.
it's done with the right people who have enough knowledge to speculate about these things. So I didn't like the kind of talks about what might be with the PlayStation VR and any kind of technology, because I always thought like, what do you know? But it's amazing how refreshing our discussions have been, and I'm sure that
Totally.
this is amazing goldmine for our viewers to hear all these different perceptions and just directions that this technology can go and these companies can go. This is absolutely fantastic.
Right, totally agreed. So I love today's show again, and for all the people who are still watching, the 153 people, I'm going to timestamp this episode. So I'm going to stay in the office for another 2 hours probably now
That's
to
gonna
work
be
on
a-
it.
yeah, you can
That's
need
what-
another beer.
That's
for
what I
that
do
one.
every episode actually, and it's already like midnight here in Germany, and I'm going to timestamp it. I'm going to upload it to all the podcast providers, and yeah, I'm still going to be very busy, but I love it, and I simply want to tell all the 157 who are still watching this, please share this. Share this goodness. I really think this is an amazing podcast with great people, exciting discussions. So let more people know about this. Please do share this. Do retweet my tweets. Do show this.
iTunes 5 stars.
iTunes 5 stars. Do send this to your best VR buddy and tell them, you know what? Check out this podcast. There's some real discussion, real talk going on, and yeah, it's a very, very good podcast. All right, I think that should be enough for today. Thank you so much for watching, and give it a thumbs up, and we're looking forward to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.